That track is spicy.
Yeah, man. Killer
I
Priest.
mean, that hit my third eye
So it should.
bad.
One of the best to do it.
Who is that?
Killer Priest. Remember Killer Priest? He
Oh,
used
is that
to be one
Killer
of the
Priest?
remixers. Yeah, that's Killer Priest, man.
No.
He's got a
So
really good podcast as well.
yeah, I followed up on him a couple of times. Yeah, that's dope. We need to hear that type of music nowadays. Not all this third, under the belt type chakra music. We need some high vibrational music.
Yeah, I mean, less of that little Nas X music and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the music game is just it's changed a lot, like a hell of a lot, in a short space of time too.
Definitely. And I just want to say thank you for having me up here on the panel and thinking of me when you went live. It's been a minute and I'm across the pond. And so our hours are so different. But thank you, Brother Panero, for having me up here with you.
No, definitely. Like, I didn't even really promote this live today, but I just thought let me just jump on there because it's been such a long while, and to see how things are going with the people, how things are going with the subscribers, because there's a lot of demon business going on, a lot of funny business going on, and there's a lot of distractions happening at the same time, as we well know. That's how they do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, it's titled Tristan and Andrew Tate and Tristan. They're going through their little situation. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, and also we've got the situation lately that happened with the police in Memphis, which was a police brutality situation that involved brothers. It wasn't a situation of George Floyd. It was black brothers that was involved in it. So I want to get some thoughts on that from the people as well, and maybe get your thoughts on it, because we can come at many different angles when it comes to this.
Indeed.
Because we got to think also. When's Black History Month coming up?
Like in 2 days.
Right. So it's a bit timing. The timing, is kind of bizarre, and we know that's how they like to do their things.
Exactly.
So, a couple of points I'd like to make on that is basically, these brothers or these guys, these police officers, manhandled, this guy, which was definitely half their size. These police officers were kind of big, overweight. You know what I mean? Did you see a picture of the guy, Foxy? What he looked like?
Yes, and I saw, the victim and the perpetrators, and those guys, obviously, with the uniform on, that's another 40 pounds. And, they do all kinds of exercises. So they're pretty brolic. And this young man, who was only 30 or about to be 30 years old, was relatively like a little beanpole. He wasn't a very stocky young man. So he definitely was outnumbered.
Definitely. Outnumbered. He sounded like he was petrified for his life. You know what I mean? It's like these officers must have enjoyed the fact that he was calling for his mother. Because he was calling for his mother from the rip.
Okay.
Before the main beating ensured he was calling for his mother. You understand? So I don't know if that.
See, I didn't know about that. Again, I don't really watch too much media, and the only time I do, it's like through Instagram, because other people are, reposting it. And so me being the person that I am, I can't allow certain type of, I guess, energies, if you will, to kind of hit into my subconscious, because it definitely does a number on us. And, I call it trauma porn. They like to keep invoking in it sounds kind of, but we're not on a superstitious panel right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, because when it first came out, I told myself I wasn't going to watch it, and I realized that I had to. It's like I knew I was going to watch it at some point, so I had to build up some type of energy around me before I
Right.
watched it. Foxy, you understand? Like I think that's what I was actually doing, but without realizing. And then I ended up watching it because I see one come up and it said all the angles, and that's the one I wanted to see. If I said if I'm going to watch it, I want to watch it proper. You know what I mean? I want to see
Exactly.
all the angles, and yeah, I did end up watching it. But I know exactly what you mean when you're talking about the negativity. It's almost like just watching a film on racism, how it's going to make you feel for the next 6 hours. You know what I mean? It's the same type of thing, but this is actually real life, and that's what makes it even more savage.
Correct.
Me personally, the way that I saw these police dealing with this guy, they was treating him like he was a rubbish bag. You know what I'm saying? The way they treated him, to me, it seemed a bit more than just what it was. It even seemed to me at some point to be some type of ritual, the way that they handled him. Or it also seemed like, they had to do that to make themselves look a certain way within their force, you know what I mean, within their community. I don't know if you watched Star Report when he spoke on it. I wasn't happy about what he was saying. I wasn't really happy.
No, I didn't get to see Star at all.
Yeah,
I haven't caught up with Star.
Yeah. His whole reflective on it was basically, he shouldn't have been there, and they have to be careful the way they're speaking to certain police. But me personally, I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more to do with some type of demonization, which I've been speaking about from a long time when it comes to the police force and the army and places like that. So.
Yeah, there's definitely, I was saying, I had asked somebody yesterday, what was the young man doing that would make these guys go off? And apparently it was, he tried to get away from them, or, so I didn't watch it. So I'm just getting like hearsay from other people. But what we have to understand is that we are in demon time, if you will, where people, especially with the George Floyd, because that was a kickoff, but not only that, I've not witnessed, but personally, but on the news here in New York City, we had back in 1999, Amadou Diallo, who was an African immigrant who came to New York City. He was working. He was about 20. He was in his 20s, and 5 police. It's always 5. Remember, those are the magic numbers that they use. So we have to always start questioning what are these people out here trying to do on the everyday person? Because again, it was 5 cops that told Amadou, turn around, and Amadou's like, oh, I'm going into my building. He was going into his home.
Yeah.
And they said, show us, ID. He goes to turn and get to his wallet. The cops start hearing gunshots because somebody called out he's armed, and riddled him 41 times.
What?
Not too long after that, in 2005, we have Sean Bell out in Queens. He was getting married. He went to the bar, the strip joint. Same kind of scenario. The cops, he also got in his car trying to dodge out. They shot his car up 50 times. Now we move forward decades later, 20 some odd years later, we see George Floyd. Oh, no, wait, excuse me. 95 was, or 93, 95 was Rodney King. And it was 5 cops on him. So they're using that number 5. 5 is the number of change, confusion, and chaos. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's exactly what they show us when they use the amount of people. It's not 3 cops. It's not 4. It's not 2. It's always 5.
True. Yeah, you know how they do with numbers, and that's another part of their sorcery as well as the ritualistic behavior. But boy, what can I say? One thing I will say to the people that when it comes to dealing with the police, what would you say, Foxy, with the way Like, because I know there's a people out there that have obviously got a chip on their shoulder,
Right.
through police, about police, and obviously people have been through, certain situations themselves, where they've been harassed by police, or not everyone's going to get a perfect stretch. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But in this day and age, the way things are, especially in the States, where we know that police carry guns too. Like, there's guns over here on police, but it's not like all the police are carrying them. You know what I'm saying? Over there, it's more all of the police, all of them have a gun. And even like the security guards even have guns over there too, don't they? So in this day and age, when it comes to dealing with them, I would suggest that people refrain from acting kind of hype, because I don't really see where you're gonna get, like, unless you like have got a plan to get away from the police, like unless you got like a teleportation pod or something like that.
Exactly.
I don't really see the point. And I'm not saying that on behalf of what happened to the guy. I'm just saying in general, you have to be more smart when it comes to the way that you want to talk to police. I know everyone wants to go on the internet and type in stop stopping me and copy the things that they're doing and stuff like that. But you have to really understand that where people are getting demonized, as we can see. But I think personally the police force is getting demonized. And you have to understand as well what these people have to deal with from day to day. I'm sure they
Exactly.
suffer from like post-night stress, like same things that these people go to army and come back and suffer from. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure they walk into houses and they've seen dead bodies on the floor and all these things, you know what I mean? So they're still human. Well, not all of them are human, but they're
First and
still human too.
foremost. Yep.
Yeah. So we have to think about things like that, and be a bit more smarter with your tongue. It's survival out here. Survival doesn't mean fight every battle. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that still.
Yeah, I agree with you that we need to, because that's what I was going to say, but I jumped into other cases where there were Black men that were gunned down. But it's, I don't know if it's the internet or playing video games that got some people really out here thinking that they are invincible, but the police officers are here to do a job, just like a nurse, just like an EMT worker, just like anybody else who goes to work 9 to 5. As Brother Peniro mentioned, these people are seeing things that the everyday person is not seeing. They can go into an apartment, build apartment or a flat, and see a husband, have a gun to his wife, or she's dead on the floor, God forbid. Children, you don't know what kind of psychological stuff that these men and women who are police officers have to go and deal with every day. They don't need somebody to go run off and try to make themselves a hero because you didn't comply to stop. If they got to tell you that 3 times, you're going to get hurt. Do not cry a river because you've been warned. Be compliant. Stop acting like an ignorant Negro and get your paperwork out if they tell you. Now, if you know your laws and you know how to finagle and finesse, you don't have to show them your property. But to make it to the next day, comply with what these people are asking you for, and your day will go on a lot more smoothly. That's all. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. I am not a male, nor am I dark complexion. So it could be more biased, where it's a dark-skinned person that's getting more, accosted or whatnot. But all I'm just trying to say is just be mindful that these people also have a job. And if you want to be an a-hole and say, "Oh, I don't got to show you nothing. I don't got this, that, and the third," they're gonna come out. They're gonna match your attitude.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is. White Rap the News. Big up yourself, Annabelle Rashto. Rap the News if you want to get up here and speak about the Andrew Tate situation. let me know. But yeah, you're right. Foxy's right. At the end of the day, if you want to be a criminal, it's cops and robbers. We all learn cops and robbers as kids in primary school. If you want to be a criminal, there's going to be a police force there. You know what I mean? To take you down. And that's just the way it is. Some people get away, some people don't, but it comes hand in hand. So there's no need to really complain about it. Just get cracking. You know what I mean? Get on with what you're doing, basically. So this basically this Andrew Tate situation now. So
yeah, please enlighten me, because I do not know anything about this guy or his brother. So okay, I don't know what's going on there.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the link. And it says any other anything else you want to cover, Foxy? Because no, today we're just doing a welcome back sort of show. So we're just doing any topics that are out right now. Something about Kanye West as well, you know.
Oh, do we need to go there with him? He is a mess. I saw he got married on some hush hush, and she works with him. Mess. Salute to your chat, to your chat, and to your channel.
Yeah. No, but any 200, was it 200K?
Something like that.
Child care, 200K a month.
Yeah, wow. Something like that.
But they really give it to you over there, though, isn't it? In your country, they really give it to you over there when it comes to this child care business, mate. They're not taking no.
Well, no. Yeah, and if you are what they call a deadbeat dad, guess what? They can repo your car, hit you in your pay in your salary, basically garnish your check away, your wagers, and or put you in jail for non-payment of child support in the good old United States.
Yeah, because rest in peace, DMX. I'm sure, like, not to put it up, rest in peace, but I'm sure he went prison like a good couple of times, isn't it? For
because of it. Now, that chick, and when I'm talking about chick, I'm talking about Kanye West's ex-wife. She makes a good amount of money. That's ridiculous that she's put up to have him pay all this amount of money for child support.
Yes.
But again, we're dealing with Hollywood, and that's not the normal person. I just told you what can happen to the normal everyday man that doesn't pay his child support. I'm in the Bronx. I'm in New York City, good old America. Yeah, so you will get your checks garnished. You will get your car repossessed. You will get locked up in jail for non-payment of child support. So Kanye West is not the everyday man.
Yeah. 200K though, that's craziness, man.
And what is it, for each kid or something like that?
Is it?
I don't know. It's something ridiculous.
No, it can't.
You gotta look it up, because it's like, I think it's, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's for all 4 kids. But then they get something else broken down too that equals up to like 150 something thousand. I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Skid Road over there in California is riddled with little tents that you look like you're going camping. They're all homeless people lined up over there in Los Angeles. Make it make sense how these people got the money to pay for child support, but you, like Tupac said, you got money for war but can't feed the poor. Let's make it make sense.
So yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, it's like that. It's you know, they're always doing things like that. But you know, over here we still got that situation with I wouldn't say situation, but you know, we've got like in the UK we've got people coming there in rubber dinghies.
So, what is that?
No, they're coming in there. No, the little raft boat things. They're coming from France and all over the place, yeah. So
yeah.
And so there's been loads of protests about.
You too?
Huh?
You got protests? We got protests too. They don't want them downtown in Manhattan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they want the downtown in Manhattan now.
Yeah. They talking about they're not leaving the hotel. You got protesters outside saying they gotta leave.
Yeah, the same thing over here too. Yeah, they're protesting outside. Got like
Madness.
five people to a room and all them type of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I've always said I've got nothing against it. You know, like at the end of the day, if they're running from something and they're in a
Oh,
safer position,
absolutely.
who am I to tell them
Absolutely.
anything? I mean, that's
Yeah,
my
but
thoughts.
but the whole thing is now, especially with America. So the immigrants that are going to come over, they're over here now. They get full access to things that the regular American can't get to without any stipulation. So this is that, politics. This is what they do to appease other countries and stuff like that. I saw somebody was posting that now Canada and Mexico, we're all three of us are in together. Basically, America has, or excuse me, not America, the United States has waived its rights to Mexico and Canada. I have to do more research on this, but we know that. So here, in the United States, it's a corporation. We basically are employees of the crown. So if we want to take a history lesson really quickly, basically that's what the United States is. So they can pimp us out at any time to anyone because the crown still holds, or the appearance of the crown still holds as far as the European countries go. So little United States is little big brother, little cousin. So all of us are working for the corporation. Now, America is where the indigenous native people are. That's where you got your tribalism. That's where you know what tribe you belong to. The Caribbean is like that. We don't really have a part, even though the crown still has somewhat a hold over Jamaica. It's not as bad as with United States. Like Puerto Rico is Commonwealth with United States. So therefore, they're going to be doing their bids as well. But yes, supposedly now it's a super country. It's America. Excuse me. It's United States, Mexico, and Canada. I'm like, oh God, this is just ridiculous. But yeah, I got to do more research on that one.
Yeah. Well, another thing I wanted to touch up on as well. They've been finding a lot of things over the last couple of years, like a lot of mummies, old mummies, and a lot of things. They're finding a lot of things in caves.
A lot of mounds.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because of the climate of the earth right now when it comes to the weather and a lot of these floods. And there's been a lot of floods over the last few years. And
yeah.
And it's revealing certain things, things that have covered up. Actually, it's very interesting to some of the things that I've been looking. Now, I'm gonna put a few videos out explaining some of these things I've been seeing.
Yeah, because I heard it from you first. I heard it from you first about Euphrates drying up. Yeah, no one else is talking about that.
They found a mummy down there too. They found some mummy down there, and they're saying it's not even from here. It's not here. Yeah.
Wow.
And some giant type.
Yeah, they're trying to allude about the giants again, which are called Titans.
Titans, yeah.
So wait, White Raptor is White Raptor from US? He seems to know a little something. So because he's asking you how much are the eggs in the UK. So he might be over across the pond over here in the States. Man, eggs are ridiculous.
What do you say,
I don't even eat it. Yeah, he had asked you how much
eggs. You know what, bro? I couldn't tell you because I don't eat eggs, you know. Like,
yeah, me neither.
I can Google it though.
It is really a lot of money. I mean, like for real, and not to be on the fear mongering, but the prices have gone up in regards to food. But we know this because why? They're killing our natural produce, right? So to keep it on shelf life, they're going to add additives. and they're going to mess with our natural produce by spraying whatever it is they spray in the air. So they're going to gas us up with paying like $5 for a bushel of freaking apples or something. It may be more than that, but it's ridiculous.
Well, it don't look too bad. I've just gone onto the Tesco site. That's which a casual supermarket. It's saying Tesco a pack of 6 is still £2.30. That's not too bad. £2.30 for a pack of 6.
Yeah, and that's just standard egg, right? Because like I have to get
that's the organic one,
pasteurized, great. Like the eggs where when I do eat eggs, I have to make sure that they're like not caged. It's pasteurized, and that shit is $8 for a carton. I don't know how that equates into your pounds, but that's pretty pricey. So
how much is that for how many?
It's 12. So and it's $8. Right. Oh, so good. Yeah, so it's expensive. That's expensive.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I suppose.
Yeah, and I don't eat eggs. It almost I can't even count. That's how long I haven't eaten eggs. I don't eat it, but I get it because some people in my house complain about not wanting to not eating meat and things like that, and they're tired of my whole vegetarian diet. But I'm like, listen, now they can't eat that stuff. I think my son had ate some crap out in the street and had meat in it, and he was shitting for days. He was like, Mom, my stomach was rumbling. I'm like, better leave that meat alone.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that one there.
Yeah.
I'll stay in the system for too long, floating around.
Yeah, exactly.
And, they're drinking all that juice.
Chips, all that crap. I just bought some Amazon water from Amazon, even though I know that's a big conglomerate company, but the water that I got is called Alkaline Smooth Hydration. It's got electrolytes in it and Himalayan minerals. Yeah. So because essentially we should be drinking mineral or alkaline water. Yeah. But New York City tap water is still pretty good compared to all the other states. So
what is it?
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, I don't drink it. I use the filter, but we've always had pretty good water. So
oh Jesus, what with them big rats walking around New York
That's
City?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, but we get our water upstate New York, so it's like out of the city. We don't deal with that crap. There comes
swimming through them pipes, man. You sure they ain't swimming through them pipes?
Shut up, Peniros. That's why I got bottled water.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. So
I'm just saying, if we were ever to be shut down and New York City, just know that the water is still semi good.
Yeah.
You might be hurting a couple of days later, but hey, you got some water.
Yeah, you might not wake up the next day, but you got some water for real. But no, you know what it is though? You can't get away from it. It is what it is right now. But
yeah,
one thing I will say to the people is that you have to understand that some waters out here, they haven't got really much in it. There's really no values in it. It's really just to bathe the outside of your skin. To be honest, that's the only thing it's really good for. Really, you should be doing things like drinking coconut water, things that can produce natural waters, such as cucumbers. Like do some juicing. At one point when juicing first came out, when go on, Foxy, what are you gonna say?
No, I was saying correct.
You gonna say something? Yeah. So when juicing first come out, Fox, remember that everyone went through a little wave of doing juicing, and then this thing came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, if you juice, it's too much sugars. You're juicing too much." That's absolutely garbage, right?
Oh yeah. See,
they just wanted us to think that, so we stopped doing it because we caught on to what the deal was. Yeah? You're gonna get more from. Put it like this: you're gonna get more goodness out of the water from juicing a cucumber than drinking water.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? There's certain elements that are in fruits, all fruits have got some type of juice in it. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you don't have to be drinking water as much as they say you drinking water. Yeah? You have to understand that. Look at the things that people are always promoting, Foxy. You know what I'm saying? You see adverts about drinking water and water this and that. We have to really start seeing the values and the minerals that are inside these things and start researching it ourselves and see what type of properties and what it does for us.
Right.
Instead of just drinking 8 glasses of bullshit water.
Right.
They ain't going to do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. That's what people really need to know, because it doesn't matter how much water you drink, because essentially you should be drinking towards your body weight. That's exactly. How much you weigh is what you should be drinking that amount of water as. Excuse me. But what Brother Peniros said is correct. As far as us drinking, you actually deplete the nutriments that are inside of you. So you get your other sources of vitamin, minerals by eating the different fruits and vegetables, whether it be juicing. You don't really want to cook it too much. Raw, it depends on how your stomach can handle raw. I can't really eat too much raw food like that. Yeah. Because my stomach, it does start to like rumble through me. But you want to just be very mindful about when you do get food. Just know that that's where you're going to be getting most of your water content, and then you should be drinking that or teas, herbal teas. You want to be looking into that, are good for your body as well. And if you're doing a liquid fast, those are the ways that you would be doing that, would be drinking water and an herbal tea. And then working your way into getting, because you need to cleanse your body out. What people don't understand is that, and I think they're getting it now, Brother Pinero, is that, and disclaimer, I am not a nutritionist nor a medical professional, but I worked in the medical field and I studied dietitian. Mm-hmm. So I want to put that out there. But we need to know that if you eat a pork chop, right, tonight or tomorrow, your body has to take its time to break all that down. Whatever nutrients, if there are any, it needs to be broken down in a proper channel. Now you go and get yourself a hamburger and some French fries the next day. Well, guess what? Beef takes longer to break down in your body. It takes about 7 days to break down. So now you've compacted your little intestine there with pork and beef. And you're eating stuff in between all that. You're not really giving your body the time that it needs to digest, filter, and excrete. So doing a fast, an interim fast, is the best thing to go. So in the morning when you wake up, instead of grabbing something to eat, get you a glass of water or some warm tea. You could do lemons and honey in it. Doesn't have to be a fancy herbal tea. And you need to, like, if you're 7 a.m., wherever you're at in this world, you want to do that. And so by 9 o'clock, you want to eat something smaller. 11 o'clock is when you want to eat a heartier meal, not too heavy. You want to stay away from starches. And you should be eating no later than 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because what's going to happen is when you get home, and I understand this for mothers, because I was a working mom. Oh, I get home at 6 o'clock and I have the children I just picked up from school and from daycare. And now I got to fix dinner. So now the family's eating at 7, 8, 9 o'clock, which is not good. Your food is sitting in your stomach. You're not giving it time to digest. Try to eat and cook early. Even if you can do this on the weekends when you're not working, getting into the practice of eating a little earlier so your body has time to digest and break down all that you've consumed.
Mm-hmm. Very important information. Very important information. Don't forget, people, Foxy's channel will be in the description, unless you can put it in the chat right there.
I don't know how to put it in the chat, but yeah, you guys can follow me at Foxy Moon Premieres. I do tarot readings, so that might be like, oh, she's the devil. What you're watching on TV is the devil. And I also have conversations like this on Monday. Huh? What you said?
No, I was gonna say, yeah. What you've been, let them know what you've been working on lately.
Yeah. So Wednesdays, about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City. I go on live and I do readings for tarot, for the cards. Anybody's interested in a personal reading, my the link is there. You can go straight into my website and get a reading. Trust me, I don't do any kind of witchery and all that other good stuff. I leave it to professionals. Mine is what I do is basically just channeling what energy, that's coming to me from angels, angel source, my guides, and so forth and so on Mondays, though, if you're not interested on Wednesdays hearing about cards and all that good stuff, Mondays same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's called Mindful Monday, and I have conversations just as we're having today, thought-provoking conversations, discussing things that are happening around the world. Thank you.
That's it. I want to put it in there now. Okay.
Big up to Double D. Salute.
Well, Double D's in Jamaica right now, loving it.
Oh, word?
Yes.
Damn, that's where I want to be. What part, Double D?
He's in Jamaica right now.
I swear to you, Brother Peniros, if it is my last thing on this earth, I am going back home to go visit the island because I'm doing research right now. So side note really quick, but so my great grandparents were from Jamaica. One was from Manville, Manchester, and the other one was from Orca Cabeza, right near Ocho Rios, off the land. Oh, he's in the grill. Oh, he's at the best part. Oh, that's so beautiful over there. And so I want to go back, especially more so towards where my great grandmother lives, because we don't know too much about her background. And so I've been kind of like doing this genealogy and tracing back. Her father was from, what is it, Axminster, Devon? I don't know if you heard of that, but it's over there in the UK.
Yeah, Devon,
Yeah, Devon. So I want to go over there at some point and go visit that area, and just get a feel. We see, and it's more. I don't know if it's out there so much where you're at, Peniros, but the United States, we got this issue going on where the word black is, we shouldn't be using that word.
Yeah, I do hear that a lot, especially more over where you are. Yeah,
exactly. And so what happened was during the 1819 and current, they reclassified the melanated person with different names. They were originally indigenous, native, then they became black, negroid, colored. Now it's back to black again.
Yeah, colored is mad. Colored is
yeah.
Yeah, that one's a bit.
The color. They don't know that color girl over there. Tell that color girl come over here now.
Yeah, color.
But
that one's a bit dangerous.
Jesus.
Even mixed race and all them. It sounds.
Yeah, I'm reading this book right now, Brother Peniros. It's called The Negro in the Caribbean. It's a Negro in the Caribbean, and it talks basically. I forgot the author's name, but it talks about, how the injustice of our families were living out there, but mainly back in the early 1900s to like 1930. And my great great grandparents migrated from Jamaica to Cuba to get work and stuff, and that didn't pan out. And then they ended up going to Miami, and then they had family or some friend of family up in New York. So that's how they ended up landing in New York, but they became naturalized citizens. Mm-hmm. So they pay taxes. Like they weren't some, immigrants like we gonna freeload off the land. They got 2 homes, good church people. They didn't deal with the racism the way the racism was, Jamaica, they already was like, some what you call free from race, the slavery 100 years before the Americas. So, Jamaicans, they bougie. They come on over here like, what you talking about? I'll get this job, do that job, get this job. You can sit there and complain all you want. And they didn't really, I never heard of slavery in my household. We never heard of someone saying we were African. And my great grandfather's like DMX's complexion. My great grandmother's a little darker than me. They never talked about them family from being Africa. So it's like, it behooves me about how certain people, that's the problem. They don't know where they come from. So they're cleaving to this out of Africa. And we all didn't come from Africa.
No.
A lot of black people, so-called black people, melanated people, we didn't come from there. We came from here. This is why all these things are being unearthed now. Mounds showing you stuff. This is what your ancestors are letting you know. You were here first. This is your land.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to Africa, Akibalon, but that's not. And then truth be told, Brother Panero, it's almost questionable that the Americas were actually the first civilization, not Akibalon or Africa. So I got into a conversation, somebody tried to shut me down. I was like, you know what, let me shut up, because I'm not here to debate what was first. It's evident, the civilizations, that you can go back to the Aztecs, the Mayans, all of that. They were melanated people and had high civilization. They had your pyramids out in Giza. They saw what we were doing over here and went and replicated it out there.
Yo, big up Latoya. Yeah,
big up. Salute.
Latoya, jump on if you want, you know.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, no, it's true. And you know what's funny as well? Like, have you not noticed that lately a lot of evidence, more and more evidence is actually getting exposed to the people? Like in the last 5 years, you know what I'm trying to say? Yep. So, you know, a lot of people are getting this information now. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Anything you want to touch up on that? Anything else you want to touch up on there?
No, I love it. I do believe it's a beautiful thing. And thank goodness for technology, because it's exposing a lot of stuff that these European men wrote decades ago, centuries ago, and had us hoodwinked for the longest time thinking one thing. Now your very black person is arguing the white people who showed you in their book that they made who you are. Do you understand the madness behind that? That's pure madness.
And what about the Hitler situation? You heard anything about that?
No. What happened with him?
Well, they're saying he's black now, isn't it?
Oh, he probably was. I would say he would be swarthy, because that's the word that they use. Swarthy. That didn't mean that he was like a black man like you. He definitely might have had some melanin in him. I don't think he was a black man.
Maybe that's why Kanye was trying to make the statement that he made. Hello, Latoya.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it actually worked today. Wow.
Oh my God.
It actually worked.
Really? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear as day.
Jesus. Wow.
I know. It's a miracle.
No, because it's new, innit? They broke everything and I got some new equipment. So they haven't worked on these ones as yet. So just give it some time. All three of them will fail. What I wanted to say is what.
Wait, is this your beloved, beautiful Latoya that does this voiceovers on here?
Yes, this is Latoya.
Wow. Nice to meet you, sister. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What I want to say, even though I'm doing a bit of research, I'm doing a lot of work now. When Foxy said about this out of Africa, I totally agree with you. I'm not disrespecting Africans, but we were all over the planet. We were all over the planet. I don't have this theory where Black people originate from Africa and they came out of Africa. Some of the things that I've seen behind the curtains, it's not adding up. This out of Africa situation that they like to push down people's throat. Once you look on Black people, you look at the ones in Africa, different parts of Africa, you look on people in the Caribbean and the ones in the Pacific region, our bones, our hair texture, our skin, we just look so different. We might be from the same tree, but we are so different. And everybody wants to tell you, you're from Africa, and no. I've seen behind the curtain, and I have especially the Aztec civilization. I've met quite a few powerful gods from that civilization, and I know that there is a whole lot more to it, especially the Caribbean islands, especially the Caribbean islands. And I definitely believe that the Caribbean islands are the broken pieces of Atlantis, and the islands that survive, those are our ancestors from Atlantis breaking off from probably say America or wherever. I don't really quite get it, but I cannot hold on to this out of Africa. We're all from Africa. We're all one. No, I don't see it. I really don't see it. Especially with the Aztecs, that part in South America. They got, definitely. I'm working on some things for that one, because I've seen quite a lot behind the curtains with those gods. I've seen quite a lot, especially the one known as Quetzalcoatl. That one I know. That one I know. That Quetzalcoatl.
Listen, Sister Latoya, I got goosebumps listening to you right now. There's a program on Netflix called Archaeology Ancestors or something like that. But anyway, it's going into exactly what you're talking about. And this white man, I forgot his name, but he's the one that's saying that Mexico might very well be older than the so-called Africa.
Exactly.
Exactly. I was like, what? You don't got to tell me twice. I believe it.
There is something with this with South Americans, because what I tend to see a lot of the South American situation than I was expecting to see more Egyptian, Babylonian, but each time I see this particular entity, it always represents South America. Quetzalcoatl, the rainbow serpent. Sometimes he's white, sometimes he have an iridescent.
We got to talk, Sister Latoya, because she's right up.
I saw someone wearing a T-shirt like that the other day on the TV. It had a diamond. You know the Freemason diamond. It had a triangle in it, and then around it coming through, it had like a serpent, but it's a rainbow. Real talk.
Yeah, that's what he represents. He has a iridescent feather. It moves. His skin moves. It's like feather or scale, but it is iridescent rainbow color. Or sometimes he has this white look, and if he's in his humanoid form, he is this white. They
call it the white human.
Yeah, with blue eyeshadow. Right, but he always represent Aztec. Always see him in that particular civilization. I am not getting a lot of ancient Egypt. I don't know why they don't show me ancient Egypt. I don't know what is there hiding, but I do get a lot of South American, and that is why I do a lot of research on it, because I said something is going on. Something is going on when it comes down to South America and the Black family. And I feel that they're hiding a whole lot, especially with Jamaica coming in now with this DNA, this NIDS card. And then the card that they're coming in, the ID card, you're supposed to give your DNA and your fingerprint. And I'm wondering, why is it that they are so invested in people's DNA? Right. Why do they want it? Because some of us, my theory is this: some of us belong to a particular bloodline. I'm not talking about the African bloodline. I'm talking about the people who were on these islands or who are in South America who are Black. I believe that they were there for thousands of years. And I think they're looking for that particular bloodline. So I'm very, very suspicious when it comes on to DNA, when it comes on to anyone trying to get into my medical situation. Something is going on. right? And you only need to look on what is happening in the Caribbean, in Jamaica. China is too much in the Caribbean. Too much. China
Well,
is too much.
did you hear, Sister Latoya, that the Maroons have now been able to cease China keep going and building in there and stuff like that? Have you heard that news yet?
No, I heard about the mining going on in the is it the Black Pit country? But the
Yeah.
problem
In Cockpit country. Yeah.
there is
So
they're looking for something.
There's been a freeze. Congress has put a freeze on that. I follow his name is Chief Curry, and I follow him. Yes, and so he's been fighting since 2017 with all this demonic stuff going on with them, drilling and digging in over there on the mountain. Now remember, and you know this, but for those that don't know, when the natives of Jamaica, not the African slaves, again, no disrespect, but we're going to tell this history. We're going to tell it right.
Exactly.
The indigenous people of the land fought those Europeans, and in doing so, escaped up to the mountains, what they call Cockpit Country or Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
And they've been thriving there to 2023. And so these demons are trying to get in there, and they've been disturbing the land and causing chaos and causing health issues and so forth and so on. But now Congress, I think it's part of the United States Congress, has put a cease to any more of China and them, trying to continue on with the destruction. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I've been speaking and invoking with spirits and praying on that for that to stop, because that is part of my culture as well. My great grandfather was born up in that parish, so I know that he's got Maroon in him. And so
why are they so invested?
Yeah, because they know their number's up. They don't have that much time left on this earth, on this planet.
What are they looking for? Something is up. Something is up, but I'm telling you, I'm not getting it. I'm not putting it together right now. I'm not getting any messages. Everything spiritually around me is a little tip quiet, but something is up, especially when it comes on to the Caribbean islands, especially Jamaica. Why are they there? Why are they there? Why is it that so much of them is there? Right? Jamaica don't have no oil, no diamond, no gold, but yet still they can't keep the palms off of Jamaica. Why?
Because, Sister Latoya, it's part of the land of milk and honey, which was the Americas. That's why they got their hand in there.
And they say Jamaica is a land of wood and water.
No, it's very rich. That's why they keep going in there.
Because the other day they were saying that they find gold, and on Instagram the Jamaica Gleaner put out a reminder to Jamaicans that all minerals found on land belong to the Jamaican government. I happened to take a screenshot of it, and I'm like, really? So if I find gold, the Jamaican government can just come and just take it out for me just like that? Such a small country. Why would you put such a bold statement when you have countries that are much bigger? If the people find anything, it's 50-50. So why is it that Jamaican government is saying that all minerals belong to them? What are they looking for? What is it that they hope to find? Why they put such a bold claim on minerals? You see, so definitely I know that something is going on with Jamaica, and I'm really looking forward to the entities, the spirits, the ancestors, just giving me that extra nudge to tell me what's going on, because there is too much. Look what happens to the children in Oberlin, in the high school. Children are just going crazy. So I know something is going on. I just cannot put my fingers on it right now. And I spend a lot of hours just going over, because a big clue is Jamaica is 144,000 square miles. Yeah. Yes. In the Bible, we have 144,000 that are chosen to be part of the elect. and Jamaica is 144,000 square miles.
So. Listen, Sister Latoya, my great grandfather's favorite hymnal was "When the Saints Come Marching In."
Must be a reason, because
and he would sing it, and tears would come down his eyes. And a couple of months back, I channeled that, and I understood it completely. And I said, I want to be, because in part of that hymnal, it says, I want to be one with the numbers when the saints come marching in.
Something is up. Something is up, but never mind. I will soon connect that. That's why they are there, because there is too much of them in Jamaica. Too much. It's as if they are waiting for a child to be born, something to be found. Trust me, there is too much. There is a prophet here on YouTube, and she had the same vision that I had, the same place in Jamaica. And she's speaking about the angels complaining that Jamaicans are rude in the Linstead area, which I'm from, Linstead.
Okay.
I keep getting the vision of the earthquakes. She gets the vision of the earthquake. Same area. I'm like, wow. So I'm not crazy. Definitely something is going on with Jamaica, but too much people is quiet. Too much people is quiet, right? Everybody's standing, looking at the next person. Children are going missing. Epidemic is going on in Jamaica when it comes down to missing children. The other day, the Bitcoin man died, and before he died, leave a message about child trafficking or people trafficking ring operating in the Caribbean. I swear to you, I can't remember the Bitcoin millionaire that died. Quite a few of them died, one behind the other, a while back. And I says to myself, well, Jamaica is in the middle of that, because too much children and young people going missing, and it is such a small island.
Very
and
small.
It's not, and it's not landlocked, right? So you're telling me you cannot supervise your airports and your ports. So if a child go missing, how is that child gonna leave the island? How can't we cannot find these children? It's just not. It's too much. And if you check it out as well, the entertainers, they used to use the music to send a message. They used to use the music to uplift. You listen to it now, it's just I'm really hurt.
It says on there that in what is it? In the last 5 years, 8,326 children missing in Jamaica.
You lie.
Yeah.
You lie. That's too much.
People. Oh
well,
no, not children. No, that's people. But an average of 1,665. I have to pull out the whole thing. It's horrible numbers, man. I used to always tell people that as well. Like, when you check out the missing, if you go to any country at the end of the year and you check out the missing results of people in every country, it should confuse you a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's too high.
Yeah,
it's way too high.
The numbers are ridiculous.
It's way too high.
Well, Brother Penero, can I say this? In the United States, there are tunnels. Ooh. And the tunnels lead from, of course, New York City, the Empire State. And it goes all the way through the South and goes into Mexico and leads out to the islands. I just told you earlier, how is the United States now going to merge with Mexico and Canada?
That's why they want to merge.
There you go.
The trafficking.
There you go.
Come on.
The thing is that when I first started to get visitation from entities, one of the first things I used to see, and it used to scare me. And I remember when I first saw it, I actually ran. I just run when I see all these children lined up. And I did not understand what I was looking at. And to what I was seeing, it was Syria at the time. And all these children, the ethnic group that I was looking at the time was Syrian, Middle East, and the war was going on. And I remember when I saw it, I ran. I was standing there beside the angel and I saw these children with the tears running down their face, looking like crystals, and these big, thick, shadowy things just dragging them, just like this child just crying like, help, help, where am I? And this figure just dragging them, and I just freaked out and I ran. I'm like, what is this? This can't be real. And the main thing that this world will be destroyed for is children. A lot of people underestimate, a lot of people don't seem to understand that children are being butchered daily. They kidnap them and they are butchering them. And these entities, let me tell you something. They tell you about gentle Jesus and precious angel. And let me tell you, there's nothing gentle, sweet, and precious about angels. They are lean, mean, killing machine, and they'll kick your ass. Trust me. Them not take no talk. Especially when it comes down to the children, everybody mean mug. Everybody fears to screw up. As my friend says to me, they're in their wrath. They're exceptionally angry because one, a lot of people don't want to know. It's not that we cut the information is not there. People don't want to know. They don't want to hear. And this world will be destroyed. And I'm telling you this, it is primarily when it comes down to the children. You see, if we were protecting the children and if we were highlighting it and if we were doing our bit, this world will not be destroyed the way it is going to, or the way that I saw it being destroyed. Right? Because when these angels, these defenders for children step in, me tell you, it's not gonna be nice. It's not gonna be nice, especially the one that carried the sword. It's not going to be nice.
What?
Me tell you, him not play.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's my boy and Metatron. Those are my peoples.
The one who carried the sword not play. Let me tell you, him not play.
Now, Sister Latoya, can I ask you, how do you feel about this year being the judgment year? Because I've been getting a download, an epiphany that 2023 breaks down to the number 7. It's a spiritual number. For me, definitely. I feel that this is judgment year or judgment season.
Well, I've been all right.
Have you picked up on that?
Yeah, last week I was lying in bed. I don't remember the date. I stopped writing them now. Writing down the date. And this thick cloud, this entity just ran out and laughing. Just like this little childish giggle. And just jumped right into my chest. And I'm like, really? But at the time, I had all my crystals on, and I have a tendency where when I wake up, I just lay still. I'm like, I'm awake, but I'm just lying there. So probably that one didn't get the news. Him wasn't in the meeting, or him knew. But I definitely know that there is quite a lot of them around because they destroyed my phone. I have my phone not even a year now, and I had to change my phone tablet Saturday. They destroyed quite a lot of my equipment because I said a few things in a few videos that they did not like, and they were fussing with me to make the video because each time I try to talk, they strangle me, they do all thoughts, but never mind, I still push out with the message. But my big thing is March. When March step in, I'm not gonna sleep. Right? When March step in, I can always count on March. Everybody comes in March. Everybody comes, the good, the bad, the ugly. March is always a month that I always dread because I know I'm going to hear something, I'm going to see something. I a friend of mine says to me, cover your mirrors because probably that's why they keep coming in. And so I cover my mirror. So me being clever now, says, I'm going to put some foil paper on this one. Let me just put some foil paper. Let me just put some foil paper on this one. And I don't sleep in the dark. And lo and behold, Father have mercy. I lay down on the bed. I say, ain't that a face? I lay down and it looking back at me, I'm looking at it, and I say, Sophie, I didn't like it, I smile. I say, what that? But I am so simple at times. Me just take ordinary people probably just get up and run. I just take the sheet, put over my head, and just continue sleeping.
Right.
I'm like, really? Really? And when I look, I was examining the foil, and I'm like, it's not even creased. It was a face looking out on me as if I need more proof. So I have dealt with the situation every other day. Every other day I have to deal with them. So definitely something is going on. And what I don't like is when I discuss anything that is very almost eye-opening. If I talk about, I do know they don't like me to talk about children being abused, people not doing enough. They don't like it. So I'm expecting the repercussion from mentioning it to you guys. I'm expecting to stay in my bed.
Stay prayed up. I'm definitely gonna have you prayed up.
They're gonna step on my. They're gonna step on my.
They can step all they want. There's mighty people, mighty beings out there that.
No,
those are like. Yeah, they're like.
Toya's too powerful for them anyway, but they just like to play games.
She sounds like it. That's what it is.
She knows she's too powerful for them. You get me?
They always have to come and try the luck. Them have to
They're
come
like
and try
tricksters. Is what it sounds like. You got tricksters,
mind benders, shadow. I don't sleep in the dark. So because I don't sleep in the dark. Whenever they come 2-3 o'clock, sometimes I'm wide awake. And when they come, you feel the room. They know that I could see them, and they do change frequency.
Right? You gotta see the Toya's video on sleep paralysis, man. That's a big.
Yeah, I gotta see. That's crazy. But oh my goodness, Peniros, you be in my head sometimes. I swear, it's like psychic connection.
Yeah.
Wait, so my dad. Lately, because since he's had his accident, but he's always I feel like my dad is a sensitive and an empath, because since I was little he could see things, and he gets that from his mother. And actually, this is not my biological father, but I get him, so that's my soul father as well. Anyway, he says to me, and he keeps repeating himself. So he says, somebody keeps touching me at night when I'm sleeping, like they rub my arm, like for me to wake up. And I'm like, oh, well, that's probably my stepmother passed away a couple of years ago, and he still lives there. So before he got discharged from the hospital last month, I said, oh, by the way, have you been getting those little marks on your arms? Because I wanted to see if this was more supernatural or was it something to do physically with his blood. And sure enough, he got 3 little marks on his arm, like somebody was pressing in his arm. Then the other night, he said that he was sleeping in his bed. And he said he felt somebody like tickle his feet to wake up. And he said he said he's been seeing the shadows. He's been seeing he's been seeing his cat, like the little cats had passed away. So he's seen his cat. So I went to the Botanica and I got him a blue bracelet that's been blessed, and the fist and Archangel Michael on there, because I know it's not malevolent, but at the same time he keeps talking about it more and more now. So I'm like. And I told him, I'm like, Dad, not to sound crazy, but you were on the threshold of life and death. They don't want you to come, but they're watching over you to get you either way. Either you're ready to come or you're not ready to come, but they're hovering over you because you were in a critical condition last month. So he was like, wow. So I just got him the bracelet and I put it on him. He hasn't said anything else yet, but that was just like a week ago.
Which one?
Huh? It's just a blue, like a royal blue bracelet. And it has, they call it in Spanish, I forgot the name of it, but it's a black fist for protection, because all the Puerto Ricans and Cubans, they do that. They get it's called sabache or something like that, where it keeps the evil away from the babies when they come.
All right,
I got him that.
I'll give you guys a quick story. A while back, I used to have visitation every other night, to the point that I strictly take the bus because I have to sleep, right? And everybody used to say, "Why is Toya on the bus sleeping?" I see her. It reached a point where I said to somebody, "You know what? I'm going to go into Birmingham City Centre in the UK, go into the bus station or the train station and start to sleep because I cannot take it anymore."
Wow.
Let me give you the story. So one time I was on YouTube and there was somebody talking about crystals, that is part of the occult and it's wicked, have nothing to do with it. And I was just discussing it with my friend and saying to her, I says, don't the Bible speak about crystal more than one section? And she says, yes. So I says, hold on, I got loads of crystal, man. I buy them years ago. And I went into the attic, pick out the boxes. I'm like, yeah, they're there. I wash them off. I says, look, I got loads of crystal. And she's reading the Bible and says, there is the Aaron's breastplate. I says, you know what? I'm going to put some crystal in my bra and say, I love it. I just pick up a handful of crystals. And let me tell you something about my experience. I used to be taken. I was even taken by grace. I was taken by one night I was here sleeping. I think it was 2021. And I feel it was December before the equinox, the same week of the equinox.
My God. Oh my God. I had a similar experience. Yeah. I wasn't taken, but they showed themselves to me around that time. Oh shit.
Yeah. I feel the hand turn me. That's why I tell people, don't sleep on your back. Never sleep on your back. And I feel it and turn me and I jump up. And then it's like he realized that I'm sensitive to one, what should I say, frequency. So I'm changing frequency, skip one day and come like him come the Monday, him skip the Tuesday and come the Wednesday, or come on the equinox night. Carry me away. And the gift that I have is that when they were traveling with me in the other realm, I could see everything. I see the cave that they put me in. I see exactly what he was doing to me. I see the entities looking out, because they were looking out for the one with the sword. Because I tell you, the one with the sword, Jesus of mercy, the one with the sword, they are, when the grace took me and the one with the sword came, that the shop, they mash up like, wow, because him never come alone. By the time I could say click, 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 Dolly house mash up. Anyway, when they carry me away, I'ma come back. And I was there and I was trying to scream and I was shout. And there were some animal looking ones that were looking out and they were all goddamn terrified. And they were looking out and I was really crying and scared. So I found out now that I could keep the crystals. And you see, from the moment me and my friend work it out, I would say, God tell Aaron to make a breastplate. But he never explained to us why. No, he never tell Aaron to make the breastplate because of decoration and because it looks good. The crystals protect us. And when you see ex-psychics and ex-this telling you, all of that, I'm telling you, angels and demons is what I do best. And when I don't go to bed unless I sleep with more crystals. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
right.
I got mine right next to my pillow. I wear my crystals out like people wear rosaries around their neck.
Rosary, you want to see my neck? Hold on, you want to see my neck? Let me see.
I wear my crystals every day I go outside.
Yes, love. I have a black labradorite necklace right here. I got agate. I got a turquoise.
Can you show us them?
I wish I could. Next time.
I hear them jingling, so she got a lot.
I promise somebody to do. something to do with crystals and Instagram, and I have to do it.
Now, Sister Latoya, have you always been empathic, or this just started within the past couple of years? Oh, okay, so since you were a child.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that when you grow up in a Jehovah's Witness household, you grew up Jehovah's Witness, you were told to be quiet, you're being stupid, talk with sense. There's nothing. I've always, when I had problems and I didn't know what was happening, I went to a psychic, and the psychic says to me, "You remember all of that?" I says, "Yes." She said, "You must write it down," and I never did. It's only 1 year when things were so bad that I start writing down the visits. It's like every night I just make a cup of coffee, turn on Netflix, and say, okay. There's times when there are people on Instagram at 2, 3 o'clock, they will sit with me, talk to me, and guess what now? They realize that when they turn up for 3, 4 o'clock, I'll be there sitting. So guess what they start doing now? Turn up for 7. So from 7 till 11 o'clock, I have them. So because they realize now this thing not gonna sleep. And that is something that they notice. She don't sleep. So what they turn up now, they don't turn up around 2, 3 o'clock anymore. They turn up around 6, 7 when I go to bed, because they can't be in 2 places at once. And I don't deal with the lower entities. I deal with the upper entities, because they ate me that much.
Yeah.
They ate me that much that they gave me information that I wasn't supposed to have, right? Because each time they come around me, they sleep. And when they sleep, I get additional information, because it is through entities how I know we are reincarnated spirits. It is through entity that I know that they're looking for a bloodline. So entities, they slip up, yes. And I'm not talking about the lower ones. I'm talking about the big dogs. I had 2 massive ones that was inside here. And sorry, it looked like
they don't want you to talk about it. See, that's why you coughing.
Trust me, they come and they stand and they were waiting on me to do something to grab me. And let me tell you, they're very tricky. They can put things in your mind, especially things that you have conflict with. If there's a family or whatever and you have conflict with them, they will throw you off, so that you are most vulnerable when you're sleeping. So they will drag you off. They can pull your spirit out. If I had somebody in bed with me, they'll wake up and find me dead. That is really what it is. Right? And had the Most High not step in, I wouldn't be back. Right? I could tell a story for days. As I tell people, sleep with your crystals.
Sleep with your crystals. And also, I wanted to also say, Sister Latoya and Brother Penero, because we talked about this before you jump on to the panel. What you eat also, and this is I also have been empathic since I was little.
Go on talk, girl. Go on talk, man. Talk the thing.
Listen, I'm going. So when I was about 16, 17, I was going through I was getting my revisions, and the only person who knew who could talk to me was my mother, my master teacher. And she was like, open the Bible up right away, start reading, whatever comes to you, start reading. And it got so frightening that I suppressed it. Well, honey, between 2014 to this current year, they said no more sleeping. You were chosen, and you need to wake back up. And I've not been getting prophetic. I got prophetic dreams about this pandemic that happened to us in 2019. I saw in 2021, not the grays, but the little ones made themselves up.
For the little ones,
the little ones showed up to me, and so they're the green ones. Actually, they were the green ones.
I saw the green ones. I saw some little
terracotta ones. The green ones are very mischievous. They're mischievous. They're to me how they like to show intimidation, but they're harmless. They're here to collect people, and that's that. They're on a mission, but they'll intimidate you to make you think that they're scary, but they're not the scary ones. But anyway, diet plays a big part of a lot of this challenge that goes on in your body. You now be your pineal gland, your third eye, depending on what it is that you're eating, starts to decalcify that, right? So when we're drinking water and we're eating lighter, your soul is getting more tapped in now. It's not just your insides that are clean, but your soul is starting to be clean. And therefore, meat. Correct. And therefore,
I'm allergic to it. Meat, egg, and milk. I'm allergic to it. The only thing I'll fool around with is some fish. Some fish I'll fool with. But when it comes down to food, you're so right. You're spot on.
My brother Maybach is here. Peniros, my brother Maybach came through on the chat.
So that was the first thing that I had to get rid of.
Yeah, come through, Maybach. But that's what really got me back on my journey was I was watching this brother on YouTube, and he was talking about decalcifying your pineal gland to open your third eye up, and eating dates and all other kind of stuff. And I was like, wow. And sure enough, that's exactly what started happening. And that was like 2016, 2017. And then Foxy Moon came about in 2019. And the rest is a wrap. I didn't know about cards. My mother's father's side of the family, they're from Grenada, and she was a spiritualist. She used to do the tea leaves and spiritual baths, and when they left Grenada, she did that here in New York, in Brooklyn. And then they moved to Harlem, and her daughter started doing it. And I didn't know about all this stuff. Like, I just recently found this out within the past couple of years, that my great-great-grandmother used to do the tea leaves. And so it was weird for me, because one day I'm at Barnes and Nobles, and I'm on this checkout line, and I see these little deck of tarot cards, and I grew up Christian. You're not supposed to be touching none of that stuff. That's evil. And sure enough, I took to it like a moth to a flame. Oh. So, when I do the cards, it's really a message, and I don't do nothing else but that. And I understand that it's been bestowed to me by my ancestors, and they did things to help others. They never used it in a malefic way. You know what I'm trying to say? They never used it. Yeah, malicious. They used it all to help and heal and herb. And in the Caribbean, that's really what it is. It's more traditionalist. It's nothing about this white man in the sky kind of picture. It's more about being in tune to the earth. And this is what our natives in Mexico were doing. They had gods and stuff like that, and they worshiped things and stuff. But for the most part, they gave homage to the water and to the land. They knew that it was spirits in the water. They knew it was spirits in the trees, in the land, and the wind. It was never spooky or evil or demonic to begin with. Now, are there evil and demonic entities? Yes. But there's also light. And this is where Sister Latoya and I, Brother Peniros, are working on that light side. And those other entities, they don't like it.
Nope.
So protect yourself with the crystals. If you're not into crystals, if you're never, I never try to push on a religion or any type of spirituality to people. And Brother Maybach knows this, because he's not like that. This is my brother from my channel. But just be mindful about what you're eating, what you watch on TV, because this is all a lot of supernatural stuff that's being infested into your head. You need to detox your mind, body, and soul. And I'll digress.
Peace and blessings to y'all. Apologize. Peace and blessings to y'all. What's going on? My fault, man, on the spelling on your name. I was using the microphone feature, and it spelled it wrong. Nah. Some people take his brother. Some people take that personal, but I apologize though. What's up, Foxy?
A salute. This is our Mindful Monday, as it is.
Yeah. See, I didn't get my I didn't get the
No. This is Brother Peniros' panel. He hit me up.
No. I know that. I had set the notification, because he had posted it, and it was going like, my fault, y'all. It was going like 30 minutes down, and like, you know how it count down, like when he's gonna go live. Yeah, I put the notification, but it never reminded me. So that's why I was
crazy.
Like, yeah, so I had to type his name.
That sometimes.
Correct.
That sometimes.
Correct. Hello.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you here, and we're talking with Sister Latoya.
Yeah. No, I know. I heard y'all building. I heard you talking about the pineal gland. You know, the third eye, which they call. You know, we call the third eye, but it's, you know, medical term is called the you know, pineal gland. So I heard y'all stuff like that. Nah, I like it, man. Keep building. Keep building.
Put some input into that for us, then, maybe.
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
All right. Get yourself together first. Yeah, good discussions. Everyone hit the like button. I'm going to put everyone's name and contact details, everything in the description, so you can find one another. Yeah, good discussion, ladies. Good discussion. Seriously. I was just sitting back listening. Don't think I'm not listening. I'm sitting there listening to everything.
He's taking all the gems up like, yup.
I apologize, guys. I had a phone call. I apologize on that one. But I came in midway. I don't know even.
The only thing we're gonna do, Maybach. One thing we're gonna do is that on this channel, we're not talking about no medical stuff. Yeah. So anything else, you can go for it, man. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Man. Yeah. Just what Foxy was building on. Like I said, I feel her. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what the food you was talking about and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I kind of heard that, and which I always talk about too. There's something that we use every day, and I'll just sum it up by saying we use it. We do it in the morning and before we go to bed. We do it when we, you know, and it's basically toothpaste. And what I have learned that 12 years ago is that kind of slows the process of the brain, and also it keeps our pineal gland small. You know what I'm saying? A certain, you know, all these toothpaste that we use. So once I noticed that, I stopped using, you know, the regular type of, I use fluoride free. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say that I use fluoride free, and I see the difference, not just with my teeth, but like the way I think, my consciousness, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So, and like kind of like I want to piggyback off of the foods too, different foods that we eat. You know, if we eating heavy things like, you know, steak and stuff like that, can make us sluggish. But if you eating the right fatty foods, because there is a such thing as eating good fatty foods and stuff like that, you'll feel like, you know, your energy is there. You'll feel like you're ready to run 6 miles, even if you ain't gonna run 6 miles. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to be mindful, you know what I'm saying, of what we intaking, because we should know that you know, a lot of it is, you know, contaminated, even the vegetables and stuff like that. You know, I had sent you something, Foxy, on IG about, like, you know, properly cleaning our food. It all starts with that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't even clean their foods, you know what I'm saying, before preparing it. They just start cooking it, and they think because of the heat that they add to it, you know, kills off the bacteria. Yeah, it may kill off the bacteria, but you know what I'm saying? We still can get sick from it and stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, I really didn't hear too much of what you guys was conversating about. I just heard Foxy building on you know, the consciousness, the pineal gland. So you know what I mean? I hope I didn't throw the show off. No,
it's cool. We also spoke about the situation that happened in Memphis with the police officers.
Correct. How do y'all feel about it? Just to give my opinion, I feel like
yeah, I didn't.
You didn't.
Go ahead.
Oh, you didn't talk about it yet. No.
I didn't. We didn't cover it all. We stopped at certain points, so I'm glad that we've gone back to that. I just want to get your opinion. So I've got my opinion that I haven't shared too. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll just say this. My opinion is very short and sweet. I'll say this, and I said this to Foxy earlier. I feel like it's a play. You know what I mean? It's a play that they're doing. When I say they, I'm talking about, you know, the government. They're doing to show us this is really who your enemy is. That's one. Two, I find it funny that they just mentioned the 6th officer, who is a clear person. You know, that's what I call the other folks. I call them clear.
That's what I heard too. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I call him Clear. Yeah, I got that lingo from my homeboy. So ever since I got that, I've been using that for like the last 5 years.
No, I heard that the last one is a Clear too. I didn't realize. You see how they try to make a loophole with the 5 and then they got the Clear at the end.
Once again, everything was recorded. He, from what I researched, he was the one who who actually got first contact with Tyree Nichols. He got first contact. Then there's a recording I just heard before coming on here where he's basically, I guess the 5 officers is chasing Tyree, and he blatantly says 3 times, multiple times, he says, "I hope they catch him and give him a whooping." This man is on recording saying that. So I just find it funny that the video is being released now. You know what I'm saying? When this whole thing has been broadcast to us, and why was it only 5 people that they was telling us about? Once again, I look at, how I think. I got that Libra mind, so I dissect things like 1,000 ways. Like I said, I feel like it's a play on, it's the new year. We know this January is really not the new year. We know the new year really is in March or April. But what I'm saying, yeah. Correct. The programming as in, okay, yeah, this is your enemy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me, they telling me and Peniro, oh, I'm cutting up. Can you hear me? Am I cutting up still?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Hey guys, is it me? Is it just me, or is he actually cutting up?
I'm hearing him.
You hear me? Am I breaking in and out?
I hear you too. No, you good.
Me? Oh, okay. Then it might be you.
So it's me, yeah?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going. As long as they can hear you. Go on, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
If the chat can hear you, press 1. Put 1 in the chat if they can hear.
Correct. So like I said, I just feel like it's a play on, trying to play with our minds and tell us, oh, your kind is basically your enemy. Just to sum it up, you know what I mean? And that's just how I feel, But like I said, I recorded protesters out here protesting the other day and stuff like that. I feel a certain way about protests, but I'm gonna keep my opinions to, I'll just say this, we've been protesting for years and it's really no change. Yes, there's been minor changes, but things are still going on. And there's a lot of stuff that is not put on mainstream news that goes on, you know what I'm saying, with police officers and regular, civilians and stuff like that. So, but like I said, I just feel like, it's a play that they trying to run. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what comes out of this, and stuff like that. But I like to say, man, we've been talking, like I said. Am I still breaking up on your end, Penero?
No, I can hear you now.
No, I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay, all right. So, like I said, I feel like we've been protesting for a long time. I'm not.
Did you throw in the Libra sign again?
Yes,
did you have to say that?
I had to.
You're banned for like 2 days.
I had to do that. Like you said, the reason why is because, like I said, anything that's presented to me, it could be as 1, 2, 3. My mind will never break it down like it's just simple as 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? I'll dissect it like 1,000 ways, which I feel like we all should be free thinkers and dissect things like that. You know what I mean? So
I noticed a lot of dodgy things going on. I noticed a lot of funny things. I noticed that first thing is that they dealt with that situation very fast. If it was the other way around, then it was like white officers. They'll be like on probation for about 4 months before anything happened. That's the first thing. This thing happened quick. We've had a few black things happening lately. We had the statue. Remember the statue of Martin Luther King? I don't know what the hell that was.
Oh, that's in your town, right, Maybach?
Yeah, that's in downtown Boston. Yes, correct. Yeah, I gave my feelings on that too. Now, the guy who made it, I think there's something weird about him, first and foremost. Second of all, it's from an actual picture of Martin and Coletta. Correct. Yeah. So my thing is, why didn't you build, if you're not gonna create a whole, figure statue, you could just do the upper body. You know what I'm saying? Which there's statues like that around the United States where if they don't have legs, they do the upper part. Why you just do arms? And this is what everybody's saying about him. Oh, he's a hand sculptor or whatever. I don't care if he's a hand sculpture or whatever. Why didn't, to me, when I look at that, I see something else. Million. I see,
10 million.
You said, say that again?
10 million they paid.
10 million what?
Was meant to be put
They paid that guy 10 million to do that.
Oh, they paid him 10 million?
Yeah, that's what he was supposed to get to do that.
Wow, that's crazy. And there's a woman
money for war, but can't feed the poor.
Correct.
What?
Correct. 10 million. That's trash.
I know. Listen, I was gonna do. I actually wrote out a video about this statue, but I never actually recorded it. I researched it. They gave the guy 10 million to do it. The statue looked like, in one angle, it looks like someone's getting sucked off.
Right.
Thank you.
Another angle, it looks like some 69 business.
Thank you. Correct. Correct.
It looks nuts. It looks nuts. They could at least done half the face or something.
Exactly. See, I told Foxy the same thing too. Me and Lotus talked about it because I sent a bunch of clips to Lotus, and I said, Lotus.
Another angle, it looks like someone used a toilet.
Your mind really going way out there. No, but that's good because
that's what I did see though. That's what I
see.
Did see.
I
didn't I didn't see
correct.
Nothing that said 10 million on it. Nothing.
I'm with you on the two first ones you said. I see something sexual every time I look at it. And Lotus said the same thing. I asked Lotus. I said,
"Is it near you?" You saying?
Yeah, it's near me. Yeah, it's only it's downtown Boston. I live like 15 minutes outside of Boston.
Yeah, when you go next time, take a photo of it and send it to me so I can do a video on it, man.
Okay, I got you. Definitely, I'll do that.
We need someone over there to start vlogging. We should start doing some.
Yeah, Maybach. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like with his channel, I was like, you need to do that and like be like when you're like
like a news
vlogging it, and then you have like the green screen, and then you're like talking over it. Telling you that's I could see you doing that, Maybach.
We need people out there that can go to the actual site themselves and do their little thing.
And see, if I knew you wanted me to do that, I was down yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, Saturday. I was out there Saturday.
Let's talk behind the scenes anyway. Let's talk behind the scenes for people start copying our tactics anyway. You know what people are like.
Right.
Correct.
Next, you know, everyone's got these guys vlogging in different countries and
stealing our stuff.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But yeah. But what else is
I just gotta say big up to Sister Latoya, because when she does your videos and you had those 5-minute, 20-minute segments in there, I'm like, this woman here is like my sister from another mister. Because I get her so completely, especially when she gets biblical and just talks about, to me, it's like listening to home, because that's where I'm at with things. I mean, I can flip it and talk about everything, but listening to Sister Latoya, I just had to big her up really quickly because she's dope. I love hearing her voice. It's very soothing when you have her on, Brother Penero.
Yeah.
Doing some research.
No, listen, at the end of the day, it's like I ain't gonna put her on my channel if I ain't rocking with it. You know what I'm trying to say? You see my channel, I don't really put a lot of people on my channel in it. So that just speaks for itself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
we're vibrating at the same frequency.
When you come from where we come from, and when you come from where we come from, our training is like, you know a bit of everything, man. It's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo, there's been times that it's like, I don't know, it's been like spooky good. Like my brother Rich would say that you'll say something, Penero, and I'm like, oh my, like literally you taking the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Or if I was thinking about you, you'd like pop up and like, hey Foxy, like it's uncanny sometimes, like the way you just pop in, because you know you're not always on, and you're not always behind the scenes either, and so it'll be just weird. And then that time, like you was telling me you wasn't feeling good, and I was like, oh, I knew it because I wasn't feeling good either. And I'm like, yup, see, they attacking God's children.
You have to remember
every day.
And they get us with being sick, so we can't speak, we can't talk.
Every day.
You know what that is, though, right? You know what that is too, right? The connections to these towers. Remember the 5G thing they was talking about?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people's getting sick because they're activating that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's going on too.
That's part of it. And then if you're like a light being,
oh yeah,
it's even worse, because it's like we're like in a cloaking device. And remember, use a perfect example for the audience, for the chat that's listening. Remember in Harry Potter when he was able to use the little cloak and he would disappear?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what, like Sister Latoya, myself, Brother Peniros, Maybach, that's like what we are. There's this cloaking device. Like you can't see us, but they can see us. So
Correct.
they know exactly who the light beings are.
Correct.
And then they go in and target, like, so they'll get you sick. They'll mess up your phone, like Sister Latoya had mentioned. Anything that you can use as communication.
Yep.
That's how they get to you. But
and they love play with your money as well.
Right. And as Sister Latoya said earlier, the one that got that big sword, oh boy, you better watch out.
Definitely.
You better watch out.
Did you see that China showed that? The cloaking technology? It's like a little sheet or blanket that they hold.
Nope.
I don't know if y'all seen it, but yeah, look it up. And we already had that. I was telling somebody that we've been had that because during the
years ago.
Correct, during the Afghanistan war, there's an infamous video of an invisible soldier.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
Correct.
Let me tell you
it's still on YouTube.
It's still on YouTube. Yeah. Video. So basically, there's a footage of some guy and he jumps at the top of the tank and runs off. I remember that footage.
Correct.
Man.
Correct. And all you see is the outline. All you see is his body outline. That's all you see. Correct.
But then you've seen them videos as well of the scientists and they're showing the cloaking device like a sheet. And then they go in front of it. You've seen that one as well. Yeah. They've been having that.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. And the illest one too, they got was it called DEW, I think? Direct energy weaponry. They supposedly have been used at on the Amazon. If y'all remember what happened in the Amazon, everything got burnt down. Supposedly that's what they used. Supposedly that's what they used there and in California as well too. Direct, it's called,
and probably in Australia.
Yeah, it's called DEW, direct energy weaponry is what they call it. Just like out here, they use a sound wave in Boston during the martial law. They use a sound wave to get people off the streets. Everybody was like, remember how like you would hear like a screeching noise, like maybe somebody scratching. Okay, yes, they use that. Here. They use that out here. Yes, they use that out here. And I heard they first used it in one of the protests that happened in Missouri. They used it out there, but I know they definitely used it out here because a lot of homeless and druggies that was out in the streets said like they felt like something was inside their ears just ringing off, and they just was trying to run for the hills and stuff like that.
That's why I say get those crystals.
Correct. And the coppers too, and the copper, right? Copper as well too, right?
Yeah, and that shungite, yeah.
Shungite. I got my sunburn in shungite because let me tell you,
what is that? What is shungite? If y'all can enlighten me, what is that? Oh, okay.
It's protection against negative
energy,
like EMF and negative energy.
Okay. And I think that one is found only in Russia. I think it's only in Russia you get shungite from. So
they say, but I believe in Mexico as well.
Okay.
That's where it's coming from. Actually, is Mexico. Remember back in the ancient time, they had the spearheads, and it was obsidian. They used the tip of the obsidian as the spearhead. So you would hear things like they would call it up here an Indian head, but it was actually black obsidian, and it's found. It's indigenous to Mexico. So that's another one that's good for protection: obsidian, tourmaline, and shungite from EMF rays and from negative entities.
And the one in the labradorite. Labradorite is very good.
Yes.
Yeah, labradorite.
And especially if you are a empath or sensitive, a crystal, a rainbow, an indigo, and all that good stuff. You're God's child. You need to have these crystals protected over you.
You better get all of them now, people, man. The war soon start, man. When you start,
That's why I asked Sister Latoya, because I've been talking about this on my channel. And Maybach, you know, I'm always saying now lately, this 2023 is equaling out to this judgment year. So
you need to get your crystals, because they're after your souls. And what I've told you is that they can't take your soul as long as you have on your crystals. Mm-hmm. Whatever technology they're using against you won't affect your soul. And that's crystals are getting so expensive, it's eye-watering.
Yeah, because people are catching on.
Lapis lazuli used to be like, I get some real for £8. I know it's £77 for 1 pound. Expensive. So almost £100 sterling for 1 pound of lapis lazuli.
Yep.
So the prices is going through the roof. It is mad expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
They can't keep it around, because if you're going to run a system that is designed to oppress people, a system that is coming after people's mind and their souls, and these people have your kryptonite, it can't work. You can just imagine if they kidnap a child that is wearing crystals. What are they going to do with that child? Because one thing I know, entities cannot take the crystals off. You have to use your free will and remove it. Nobody can remove it. All right. The best example I can give you is one.
She said, "All right." Oh God!
One night, I wasn't sleeping, but to how anxious they were to grab me, I just lay in bed. And when they grabbed me into the next dimension, I started to scream. And I said, I'm not sleeping. Help, I'm not sleeping. And suddenly, the softest, gentlest voice, as if it was standing right beside me, says to me, don't go downstairs. You'll get lost in the further. And I came out of the dimension, lay back in my body, and I woke up. What he did is that he stepped out of line. He wasn't supposed to drag me out of my body, and I wasn't sleeping. He stepped out of line. So when he did it, he just walked away. I saw him just walked away. He was so upset and so anxious, he couldn't wait for me to sleep. So he stepped out of line. Because he stepped out of line, the master, the grand creator, had to step in, because he basically dragged me out of my body while I was in my bed. I didn't even get to pray nor do nothing. So crystals are important, and that is why they've vilified like that. Everything I know about crystals is my personal experience, and that is why I can vouch for it. And it is littered in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And another thing with the crystal is, I noticed Lucifer also got a breastplate, but he did not get 3 stones: agate, lapis lazuli, and amethyst. Is it amethyst, the purple one?
Amethyst.
Those 3 act like kryptonite. I swear to you. If you don't get any other stones to wear, you should always wear those 3. It's kryptonite to them. Yes, they'll come around, but what they would want to do, they cannot do it to you once you're wearing it. That's a fact. That is my experience. And that is why I know, if you think what I'm saying is hocus pocus or anybody, watch the price. I'm telling you, watch the price. And you're saying basic stones like those are not supposed to cost so much money. It is so expensive that you're like, is this gold?
Right.
Why are you paying almost £100 for a handful of rocks? Why? It is so expensive that it's like really now.
It really has. It's gotten really expensive in the past couple of years.
Yeah, they're gonna use the climate change agenda to say, you all got to stop mining, right? Someone told me that crystals were originally from these massive trees that were on Earth, and I believe every word. When she said it to me, it just resonated with me. So it's like a physical Prayer is a spiritual to the Most High, and the rocks are the physical to the Most High, and that is why the fallen chopped the trees down, because they were completely disassociating us from our natural powers.
Yep, talk about it.
So they were very clever in what they were doing. So when I was doing the research on it, I was like, okay, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. And I keep telling people, put crystals on your children, put it on their ankles, because when if the evil manage to take them, they cannot do nothing to them more than throw them back in the water. Or they probably tell the child, oh, take off your crystals or we'll kill mommy or something like that. I keep telling people, you got to wear your crystals. You got to have your children wearing. And 3 crystals is very important that they wear. The lapis, the amethyst, and the agate. They have to wear it. If you get no more other crystals, you have to have those 3. And you have to wear them while you're sleeping, because that's the time that they come.
Yep.
That's when they come.
Bedtime.
Yeah, that's the time they come. As soon as you're sleeping, they turn up. Because what happens is that not all of us is gifted to know when we are taken, right? Some of us, we are just dead to the world when we are sleeping, right? But my gift is that when I'm sleeping, I'm not sleeping.
Me neither. I'm in other dimensions. You hear me?
I've always seen it and never understand it. I never understand. It took me years. It took me years to deal with it. And from the moment I found the crystals, they turn up, but there's not much they can do. They can turn up.
I sleep with smoky quartz.
I have a bracelet. I have 2 bracelets that I sleep with.
Yeah.
I have tumblestones on the bed. I have the necklace. Sometimes I wrap the necklace around my hand, and I have the bracelets.
Because you're high vibration, and that's why you are susceptible to them, interfering and coming through. Because like I said, they can see certain people shining. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you got on clothes. They see you.
They see you, yeah. So right.
And you know what's interesting, Sister Latoya, is that you brought up why is Jamaica such this fascination? Remember in Genesis, the 12 tribes of Israel, and and Benjamin, which is Jamaica, is one of the 12 tribes, one of the brothers.
Haiti too. Haiti's one of the 12 tribes. We're the tribe of Levi. Right. Haitians is the tribe of Levi. Yeah, correct.
And Benjamin was the baby brother that they tricked Benjamin. And so, unbeknownst to himself, he hurt his brothers by being preyed victim. And so he rectified that. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. Yeah. But he rectified that. And so Jamaica is baby brother. And this is when you kept saying, I don't know what it is, it was clicking in my head. And I'm like, oh, because we are part of the 12 tribes.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, we're 144,000 square
and that right there, I was like, oh my goodness, you brought it biblically. 144, Jamaica.
Yeah, it's the biggest clue. Is the measurement. Right there in front of your very eyes. And they're trying to change it. They're trying to say Jamaica shrink. Some numbers say shrink.
Not before I get my foot on there, because for the past 2 years, Sister Latoya, it's almost like a beckoning. It's like, and I'm like, okay, I haven't been to Jamaica since I was a kid. But the past 2-3 years, it's almost like it's this knot in my stomach. You got to come back. You got to come back. You got to come back.
Same
and here. I swear to you, this year, I promise on my dead ancestors, I'm going to get there.
Same here.
You know what I noticed? You know what I noticed? When it comes on to the Jamaican musician, when they live and they use the local talent, the music is always winning. When they move from Jamaica and they reside overseas, they don't have that sparkle or that magic about them. They don't
have the soul.
Correct.
Yeah. I notice it. I keep watching the Marleys, and I'm like, no matter how They make
the girl. We gotta talk behind the scenes.
Definitely, no matter how they make the music, no matter how they come forward, it's like yes, they got the talent, but the magic is not with them anymore.
The magic is not. They've been dealing with Shaitan too much. That's why.
Yeah, and even when you look at where's the next one now, Luciano. When Luciano was in Jamaica before he moved to, I think it's Canada or America, he used to be so spiritual. The music used to flow so natural. Now he's just flat. And no matter what, once you move out of Jamaica, you don't live there anymore. You're not breathing the air. You're not walking on the soil, right? You're not using Jamaican talent. Your career just flatline. You don't have the magic. You don't have the spark anymore. And that is something
from the top too. It starts from the top too, Miss Latoya. I feel like it starts from the top. It's the the record label owners as well too. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, but that is something that I'm paying attention to for the last couple of months. I'm like, everybody that moves out of Jamaica that is not breathing, the music it don't sound the same, and they don't have that magic anymore.
Correct.
So I've been paying attention to it, especially the Marleys. I'm like, so much talent, and they are not hitting the spot.
That's why I feel like it's the music has changed because, like how you saying, I'm piggybacking off what you're saying is like back then, right? These artists had the hunger, they had the struggle that's in front of them to inspire them. These artists ain't being inspired anymore because that's what I'm saying. Music is so dumbed down now. The frequency is totally different. So that's why I said it's a bigger. It's a whole bunch of things. Part of it is what you're saying as well too. Them leaving homeland and being in a different environment. You don't get that inspiration that you get back home. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. The music that I know, the ancestors love, the music that I know, the gods love. Correct. Garnet Silk. I'm like, wow. If I'm playing music, it has to be Garnet Silk or Marley or Dennis Brown. And that's verified.
Yeah.
That's verified. Yeah. I can tell you artists that they don't like. And I proved that because I was doing a particular video and I was like bigging up this particular artist and the laptop just spin. Like, hell no. Don't put my name with it like that. I'm like, wow, somebody's not happy. Well, put Garnet Silk in there. Dennis Brown in there, everything went through nice and clear. I'm like, okay. So those are the favorites. So whenever I'm cooking or anything I'm cleaning and I have Garnet Silk, wow. Garnet Silk, love it. Love him. But there seems to fall out with quite a few the Jamaican artists. They're not saying what they should say or doing what they should do. They're not with them. Definitely. They're not with them. The magic is just not there anymore. So people need to understand music is not just music, especially reggae music. Reggae music is the music of the gods. It was given to Jamaicans, just one of those things. We're so unique. So anyway, darlings, I can't stay with you very long. I have to go and finish my reading. I got so much to do. It was nice. It's a pleasure talking to you guys.
Likewise.
But I can't stay with you. I got a lot to do. You know what I'm looking at now, Peniros? Your favorite topic, Nibiru. Yeah, because they says that the core of the planet stopped spinning. So I'm trying to put the final touches on it now and get the evidence.
You know what's so funny about that you mentioned that? I read about that planet in 1994 in a book called Right Knowledge by Dr. Malachi Z. York. He talked about this planet back in 1994. Yeah, he's doing Fed time right now. It's a whole thing about him. But if you can get your hand on that book, he talks about underground life. He talks about underground cities all around the United States and the world.
Yeah, the underground thing is real.
Yes. France had an underground city with life for years and they never knew about it. Okay, so they started seeing people coming out from under the grounds and the sewage and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a whole thing. But Dr. Malachi Z. York mentioned Planet Nibiru in 1994. I'll never forget that. And the book is called
Malachi
Z. York. Yep, Z. York. Malachi Z. York. He's doing federal time because supposedly.
No.
Okay, don't talk about it. Okay, all right. I won't say. No, I wasn't going to mention what he's doing the crime for, but how
he's just doing big time.
Don't worry about all that.
Yeah.
But Malachi York was one of the first guys to expose the Nibiru thing, but now we have people such as myself. For those that follow the channel, know that I've got over 200 videos on Nibiru. If you go into the playlist, you'll see them. And then
it's going to happen.
We have to stay up to date. We have to stay up to date with Nibiru because it's a thing of where.
Yeah.
So is this another planet?
Yeah. We spoke about it before, Foxy. You just don't remember.
Yeah, because Brother Penero, my mind goes all over the place.
What we should do, we should actually do a whole show.
We should. I need to be enlightened.
Because on my channel, I've actually got a separate group of people that just follow me just for the Nibiru.
Information.
That's why if you go on my Nibiru videos, they do quite well.
Okay, well, I'll do my homework then.
Yeah. If we,
yes, definitely have to do my
homework. So that would be nice because Foxy's you can do your homework on it. Latoya's about to read up on it, and I know
Latoya is in all due respect, Latoya is nasty with it. Like she comes out. I'm like, I love when she comes on and she does her segment there. That's such a great thing, Brother Peniros, that you do, that you highlight her giving the news. It's almost like a news broadcast, and she's got like the news, and then she brings the spiritualism to it. And I'm like, that's a good look right there.
Yeah, look at the people running circles around us. Because even London, Peniros, you got to watch yourself with London, because remember, all of the royal household move out. The article came out, the evidence came out that William and his wife left. Then the article came out where Kate's sister and her banker husband left. So these people who are at the very top, the very cream, they are all leaving London.
Yeah, London Bridge falling down for real.
So you've got to keep an eye open for what's going on, because anything going on with the wars or with Nibiru, it's going to affect London first. London, they have London as a marked area, so definitely.
Now before you leave, Sister Latoya, what is your take with Henry and Meghan? You believe that she's, I don't want to say chosen, but
I feel she's chosen.
Okay,
all right.
I feel it too.
I did a few videos about them, and I think they're playing a clever game. I had to examine. A matter of fact, the Spirit led me to it, right? Because I never wanted to talk about them, and the Spirit led me to look inside their bloodline. So I had to look all the way back to Queen Victoria, and before Queen Victoria became queen, there seems to be a series of deaths around Queen Victoria. All right, follow the breadcrumbs.
But Henry, not to cut you off, but Henry actually goes back to the Tudors. You know that, right? Prince Harry is part of Tudors.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that they're playing a clever game, because after every little, what should I say now? Ever so often, there is always a big scandal. Remember the big scandal when his grandmother and great-grand was around. It was all about the person who abdicated the throne. But in fact, it was published that he left the throne because he was so in love with Wallis Simpson. Yes, now I remember. That's why they broke my tablet. He was so in love with Wallis.
Don't let it happen again. I just wanted to know, did you feel that?
Let me tell you what happened now. He was so in love with Wallis Simpson, right? And the BBC News and everybody come out with the story. Oh, he's in love with Wallis Simpson, and it's because of Wallis Simpson. So everybody think that it's because of Wallis Simpson why he abdicated the throne. And the queen mother, she was out here just doing the most. She don't like that woman and all of that. But in fact, there is a book known as Full Service where the author, this individual was telling his life story. And the man that abdicated, he likes boys. And the wife, Wallis Simpson, likes girls. Right? So all of that story there around that lasted for decades, that they have people hanging on by a string, it was all a lie. Right? It was all a well-crafted, fabricated story. And there are articles out there to show you that the queen mother, she was just doing the most. That wretched woman, Wallis Simpson. Oh, Wallis Simpson. But also because the powers wanted Elizabeth to be queen. And what they did not tell you is that there was a king, I did the video, that was actually murdered. The doctor came out.
I heard about that.
Yeah, the doctor came out in 1986 with a book stating that he gave the king an overdose of morphine or something and killed him. So when he died, they were basically fast tracking the queen to be the Queen Elizabeth to be queen. Another thing that I'm going to tell you now, and it hasn't happened. Yeah, no, I realized why I got the beating. I was getting such a massive beating. Another thing is that William's son is not going to be king. It's a girl, Charlotte, is going to be queen.
And she looks like Elizabeth too. If you look at her,
yes,
she looks like her.
She is eventually going to be queen in front of our eyes. That is who they want to be queen, and they're going to move the chess piece around very clever. You know why I say very clever? Because I hear Bill Gates come out and says that there is going to be another situation that is going to affect children. But the thing with me, anytime I speak of anything that is supposed to happen, it's either delayed or it don't happen. Yeah. So if somebody's going to die, they don't bother dying, because what these entities are not going to do, they're going to sit and listen, and they're not going to make things happen to give you 1 inch of credibility.
That's right.
I've been around them and I know how they operate. And that is why I have all my equipment break, because I've been looking into the background of the family. So this Harry and Meghan situation is all a big distraction. I will sooner, and a couple of years down the line, we're going to hear exactly how it goes. Of all the mixed race girls in the world, I wonder why he chose she.
Well, it's more, it's not even that they picked each other. This is what people keep thinking, that it's some fairy tale. She's part of the grand scheme of things.
Of course.
And when Americans were like, oh, and the aunt was wearing a Moor brogue, they know who the Moors are. Damn it. You think she was being sarcastic when she put that on at Meghan's thing? No, they know who's royalty. They know.
Meghan was handpicked. You're not going to come from.
They all handpicked. There's no coincidence.
You're not going to come from a bloodline like that.
Bloodline, that's it.
And just married any plain Jane. It don't work like that.
Don't work like that.
What I find suspicious is the mother. You're telling me that the mother didn't have anybody that she works with, or any family member that is worthy enough to sit beside her? I was impressed.
It is not coming from her though. It's coming from the father's bloodline.
Are you telling me no one from the mother, no one from the father? So Meghan couldn't invite a niece, a nephew, nobody?
Yeah, they isolated her bad. That's why Harry was like, yo, we're out. I don't blame them.
Something is up with them. And when I see the attack that have been given over the past couple of weeks, when I was look into the background, I said, yes, I'm onto something. So something is up with them. We might not know now, just like how it was with Wallis Simpson.
I have a sneaky suspicion what it is.
Just like Wallis Simpson, and the king, and they were saying how he's in love with Wallis. It's not that he's in love. Wallis Simpson basically took the rap.
Caught up. She got caught up. There is a okay, Maybach. There is a documentary out that shows letters that Wallis wrote in regards to how she was feeling to her. She was sending letters to her husband at the time and saying, you know, I don't really want to entertain this. And I don't really like him like that, but he's so obsessive. He's such a little baby, so forth and so on. And the husband's like, yo, but I'm using my New York slang, excuse me. But he's like, yo, we got to keep this going because this is how we're going to get money. And she's like, she was caught in the middle. And she's like, I really don't want to be here. And she was forced to divorce this guy, but she really wanted to be with her husband. And she's like, the prince is like a baby. He's childish. He's this, that, and the third. She didn't want no parts of it, but she wrote it out to the end.
Yeah, because she know what she's gonna get. She know what is in it because she likes the girls and he like the boys. So the person who used to have to fix Edward up with the boys had to fix the wife up with the girls. And in his book, he said, you could have knocked me over with a feather when I found out he was gay. Right?
Oh, Lord, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, they string the British people along. They string them along for all these decades with that story, right? And how the Queen Mother this and the Queen Mother that, and the Queen Mother is upset, and the Queen Mother can't stand the wretched Wallet Simpson. All a show, all part of the show. And as I said, Charlotte will be queen. They're gonna know how to move the pieces around to make sure Charlotte becomes queen. I remember Charlotte is about 10, so we don't have long to wait. Is it?
Yeah, because I don't think Charles he's gonna get maybe a good 5 years in. If that.
He's gonna step down.
Yeah, because he's waited too long. His gumption is not the same. It's not.
Charlotte. How old is he? Charlotte, Princess Charlotte. How old is she?
Isn't she like 5 or 6?
No, man.
She's older than that?
About 7, 8. Princess Charlotte. She's 7, yeah.
Well, William is going to have to do that first before Charlotte steps in.
Yeah, he's going to be the placeholder. That's what he's
exactly.
He's just going to keep it warm. Charles will probably do about 3 or 4 years, warm it up.
Now, did y'all hear, Brother Peniros or Sister Latoya, did y'all hear that Queen Charlotte is a Moor? That she was black herself?
Yeah, I heard something about it. I found some.
I was looking into it. Yes, they have her as black, but not only that, there is a
mulatto, as they say.
There is another one before Charlotte. I think she was in the 10th or the 11th century. She's Philippa. She was black, and I am not even going to go into that because it's a totally different thing, because I don't understand where is all these black females coming from in Europe to be on the British throne. I don't get it. Where did all these magical black people come from? So, I'll just leave it right there.
Yeah, I think people, especially in the Americas, I'm not sure how, and I don't even like to use the word race because there's no such thing as there is, but it's the human race. Americans, well, I should say United States is really steeped in this prejudice and hate of the white and the black person. And I feel like some people want to rewrite history by then saying, oh, this person was actually a black person. Matter of fact, everybody was black. And, and I'm like, yeah, well, in the beginning of civilization, probably so. Absolutely. They were all, you got to think about the climate. I mean, they didn't have trees like that the way they do now. The climate wasn't cold back then as it is now. Yeah. So, of course. So it goes again back to that out of Africa, all that stuff. And it's just like, I think Americans mainly they're so lost in what their nationality is, what their ethnicity is. It's like any person that they can,
I'm all right. I'm Jamaican. I know mine.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier, that, when my great grandparents came here, and even in family, they never ever once mentioned anything about Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it wasn't until I went into public school here in New York that that was an issue, the slavery and Africa and things like that. And I still never was like, yeah, I had Africans that came over here and they were slaves. I have family. That never hit me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it was never talked about, because we knew who we were. Like all my family members are Caribbean. That we got on my biological side is Cuban, thus my complexion. On my mother's side, they're from Jamaica, and then her father is his mother's from Grenada. So that's all Caribbean right there. Yeah. Now there is a great grandfather from my mother's side that is coming from England. So, there is a certain percentage of mine that is European. But see, what's the problem with these the Americans is that they only want to hear black. That's it. Yeah. They don't understand that they're mixed with everything and to embrace it. And the only way that you're going to beat the so-called United States system is, and they keep talking about reparations, you're going to have to go after everybody then. That means you're going to have to go over to UK and get your money. You're going to have to go to Africa if you keep claiming that you got family over there. You go to everybody.
So where they're going to put that money?
Shut up, no reparations. You shut up.
Where they're going to put the money? When they collect reparation, where they're going to put the money? Do they have a black bank? Do they know anything about the banking system? That's why I'm not into the reparation situation.
I'm not either.
Because I'm not either. You're gonna get the money from the elite, and you're gonna put it in the elite's bank.
Right into their hands.
I got to go because I got to finish do some research. I got to love you guys and leave you. So I'm glad I get to catch up with you guys. Hopefully they don't break the tablet this time. So we'll catch up again, most definitely. All right, guys.
Peace. Yes.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Latoya. Blessings. Yeah.
Oh goodness! I mean, Sister Latoya, I feel like she's the celebrity on the stage, Brother Peniro. Oh my God, I got to speak with the infamous. Woo!
She knows her stuff.
That was that made my night. Well, being on here with you, but her to come through, man.
Yeah, no, because she's been dead serious. Like, there's been so many times we tried to get her on, and she's having problems, and she can't get on. And then she's ringing my phone. She's telling me, I don't know I'm trying to guide her through, and it's been problems. So
well, now we know.
Yeah. So now she says she's got something new. Hopefully they don't possess that. And, maybe they try to go in it when she's sleeping. I don't know, man, but
they don't like the truth. That's why I kept saying this year is the judgment season. I wouldn't say it's a judgment year, and I don't want to put gloom and doom out into the audience. I'm just saying that this year you're going to have to face the man in the mirror. You can't keep blaming, like we were talking about earlier with this young man that was killed in Memphis. You can't keep putting your hand out and saying, but they made me do it, but this happened. This is why I did this. No, this year you're going to have to face yourself and hold yourself accountable. Because judgment is coming up. Is your heart, it's on that scale, the heart and the feather. Where do you weigh in on that? You can't keep blaming your mother for all your transgressions. Oh, I didn't have my mom's in my house. Oh, my father was locked up. What are you doing about yourself, and how are you contributing to society and this earth that you live on?
Right. You can't blame yourself for being a bitch ass either. You can't blame yourself for being an unloyal son of a... You can't blame yourself for being a snitch. You can't blame yourself for nothing.
Exactly.
Because once you get to a certain age, you should know right from wrong, and you should know how to move. It's either you're going to be a part of that lane or you're going to be a part of this lane. That's who it is.
Facts.
And build yourself spiritually, because it ain't no joke. There's a lot of talk lately about this zombie apocalypse.
I haven't heard of it, but I've always been thinking in the back of my head that movie or the show, The Walking Dead. So I'm like, yeah, I know what to do. I just gotta get the what is it? The crossbow and arrow. That's all.
Yeah. And yeah, people, prepare yourself for this AI thing, because we've been talking about it for years on this channel, and it's definitely coming. I did read a report the other day about there's supposed to be they brought out this AI that's going to be a lawyer. They want to use the AI and also you might see some footage people on the internet going around of, the little AI robot dogs, the dogs that run around. Yeah, remember where you saw that first, people? Remember you saw that first over here like 3 years ago, right? So all these things are slowly coming out now, because I've seen footage of like officers standing there and the dogs are standing around them and stuff. So they're starting to put these things into play. I don't know why they done this as well. I also saw another footage where they actually took one of the robot dogs to the zoo, and the lions was not attacking it. I don't know if it was some sort of test, but they let the dog thing run in there, and the lion was backing up. Was it even trying to attack it? Yeah, so
because it probably didn't recognize that it's not like animal.
Yeah, but and to me that looked like a test. They looked like they was trying to test it to see what it would do, So these things are going to be coming into play. Some of you might want one, Some of you might want one to do your cooking, or clean up your house or other strange things. You know what I mean? But so when's your next show, Foxy?
Wednesday, actually.
Is that going to be a reading? Is it going to be a?
It is. Yeah. It's going to be for all signs of the month of Aquarius, or the sign of Aquarius, rather.
Okay, what can you tell us about this month?
Well, I didn't. I don't know, because I have to channel the cards, but I'm going with each sign this on Wednesday. So, what's your sign again, Brother Peniro? You're Capricorn? You're Capricorn, right?
I think I'm something else, but yeah.
Well, so happy belated birthday. But so like I'll be doing Capricorn, Cancer, each sign. That's what I do, like the end of the month, so that the beginning of the next month people can kind of look out for what they should be doing, or what's coming, or the energy that's around them. But mainly Wednesdays are like a check-in, just to see what's going on. And Mondays are my mindful Mondays, and I have like open panel. Maybach's been with me for a couple of interesting conversations. The last one we had was about New York State has now made marijuana legal for recreational purposes, and I have
what state?
Yeah, right here where I'm at is legal now.
Have they?
To smoke freely without getting locked up. In the street.
Wow. When was this? It must have been lately, right?
Last month, in December.
So what about that other bill that was passed as well? Where was the bill passed where they was talking about 12-year-olds will not get locked up for any?
I think that was during the summertime.
No, I think it was more lately. Did you hear about that though? 12
No.
They will not be prosecuting anyone 12 years old.
No.
You need to look into that one, because that's very scary still for the.
It is. They're
going to get used they're going to get used to do certain things.
Yeah, and I think it bothered me, and I wanted to talk about it before, and I didn't get a chance to, and I'm like, so now as recreational use, it's okay, it's legal, and I'm just like, all I'm thinking in my head is, we're gonna have a city full of potheads, and they just walking around in a cloud of smoke.
Everyone's gonna be high walking around, yeah.
And when shit hits the pipe and hits the fan,
literally.
You're not in your right state of mind, because you so high, you don't know what's going on. And that's why I was like, I'm not feeling that.
I know you got to remember as well. You got to remember, everyone takes smoking differently. You got some people, that can smoke marijuana and still maintain to smoke marijuana. But then you got some people that smoke marijuana and then but they want something a bit stronger.
Exactly.
And it leads to something a bit stronger. So you've got different minds for different kinds, yeah? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of dangerous if you just legalize it, because you're giving everyone an opportunity to just say, you know what? Instead of us going down the road to go and get that beer or get that bottle, yeah, let's just buy some weed as well. Let's just try it. And then that's more opportunity for more people to want to find something harder.
Well, in contrary to what you're saying,
in the long run, yeah,
it's bad because the weed is being laced, and this is where this addiction is coming from. Because even Maybach was saying, like, a friend of his was like had to get up and smoke. Like, he was like noticing that this is not the normal weed from our era and our parents' era. So there's definitely some chemicals being used on there to get these kids to just kind of like, I got to get more. I got to keep smoking. And that's not normal. That's not normal.
Well, that's how you infiltrate it, though. You make it legalized.
Mm-hmm.
And once you legalize it, you can put in your own shops.
That's right.
You can give it to people that want it from medicinal use. And that's when you can implement your own one in. So what would be the best thing to do? Mess with it, the ones that's going into the medical.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say? The people that actually want to go and get it from the medical for certain medical reasons. Let's play with that one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all, as we know, it's all set up that way.
Right.
In the long run for something that's not, you know. But at the same time, would you say it's the right time for people to be higher right now? Really? I thought we was going into recessions and all these things. So you want more people buying weed.
You're gonna smoke yourself out of thinking that you're broke.
Yeah, so you want more people buying weed, so when they go home to their baby mothers and say they ain't got no money for Pampers, they start having a madness.
Exactly.
Yeah? See, it's all this a big dirty circle, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying though that they shouldn't legalize it. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying these are the possibilities. It's nice to walk around with a spliff hanging out your mouth in the street.
I mean,
and that type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. And New York City has definitely gotten its fair share of, young men being accosted and charged with possession of marijuana, and it's been a long.
That's the piss take. That's the piss take as well. The guys that have been locked up for it.
So now So now what the state has done is let those guys who have been convicted of selling now being able to apply to sell legally and open up shop in dispensaries throughout Brooklyn, Manhattan, and so forth. They're letting them get first dibs on the application because they were in jail.
That's cool. That's cool though.
Yeah, that's the plus side.
But can they, as long as they can do their own thing.
Right. And you can you can grow it in your home, but you can only have a certain amount, like a pound wise. Or you can open up a dispensary. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Open up a dispensary supplied by them or what?
Whoever they're getting their supplies from.
That's what they'll probably do though, like a franchise. Open up a dispensary.
Of course, it's good.
They'll come and drop the bricks off to you.
Right. It's taxation.
So that's like another way of saying we've had enough of you like making money off of this. We're gonna take over.
Exactly. So they're legally now instead of illegally. Now the government can now claim that because it's taxable.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, my only thing is coming from a spiritual aspect is that you got a cloud of people in New York City and we're under a spiritual warfare. And there are entities circling people just to enter. And some of these kids got their mind is not in the right place. Boom. Your target.
It's going too far. It's going too far, this warfare. Now they're attacking the little bit of money on the roads that man's making. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're taking liberties.
Yeah. It's out of control, but we got to stay up, and that's why I have my channel where I have my Mindful Mondays, and I talk about just like we were talking right now, I throw in a little bit of spirituality and just mindfulness, like be for real, open up your eyes and see what's going on. Like, don't take this on face value. Everything is a game. When you hear the expression, this is chess, not checkers, believe it. These people are out here doing nefarious things on your consciousness, on your dollar. And you're fighting the next man for what?
Yeah. And like I said in my last video, you better hurry up and learn, because your knowledge and spiritual consciousness will be dependent on where you're going next.
That's why I don't really like to, sometimes I come on, and sometimes, because I'm like, this year you're going to have to be selfish. That's what I keep seeing, like in my mind's eye, is there are people that are going to be selfish for themselves in a negative way. And then there's people that are going to be selfish in a positive way. And how does that sound, Foxy? How can selfish be positive? Well, I'm conserving my energy and I'm taking in my knowledge for self at the moment. And I'm not going to be able to give myself out freely. You're going to have to grant an audience to talk to me. You can't, I'm not going to just be talking willy-nilly whenever to whoever at this point. And that's how we should be looking. You pay your energy is a price. What and a value. Who are you giving your time and your currency to? Not physical fiat. I'm talking about your currency to others. No more of this. And then the selfishness is what people are gonna be like, oh, well, what happened to Foxy and Peniro? Why they not talk? Why we can't talk to them? No, they being selfish. That's the negative part of it. People are gonna be like, oh, they being too selfish. No, I'm conserving myself right now.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to pay to talk to me, but you're going to have to really get through some channels before you can just sit there and be like, let me just talk.
Real talk. Because at the same time as doing what we're doing, same time people like doing what we're doing, we got to protect ourselves too. You know what I'm trying to say? So, and if we don't protect ourselves, we can't give you what we're giving you now, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, it takes a lot of research for people that don't know what, like yourself, that do. I wouldn't consider myself as a content creator, but you definitely, Brother Peniros, you put content out there, and that takes time. That takes energy.
It does.
And you got to be in the right space of mind to do that. You can't, it's not just wake up and you can feel inspired, but other things throughout the day take over. Right. And then you got other entities coming at you. Then you got to be careful about this whole internet stuff, because now you're an open public person. So we got to conserve that energy, because you got all kind of bots and fake profiles coming through to try to dismantle you and things like that. And it's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna come on when I feel like it. How about that? I'm not going to be on a schedule. You're not going to know when I come on.
Yeah, no, it's a serious thing, Like, people say to me, why don't you do like more lifestyle videos? I said, bro, I'm not really the thing. I'm on the internet, but I'm not really an internet personal life person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go with day to day and film certain things, but I'm not really trying to. I'm not here to like promote my lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I'm here to like, just spread the word and talk to you, like, you know what I mean? It's not like an ego channel. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right.
That's not what I'm trying to do. At the same time, though, like Foxy said, that we got to keep ourselves in check too, because we get tested. Like I just said, you don't see a lot of my life on the internet. So obviously I have got a life away from the internet. So and it does go down. Sometimes I've got to do certain things, and life is life. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
And sometimes it is them times when you don't see me. You know what I mean? I'm doing certain things. I'm still human, But
well, trust me, I feel it when you're not around. There's like a spidey sense that kicks in, like, "What's up with Peniros?" And then boom,
I live real life.
You come into my chat.
Yeah, I live real life though. Like,
Of course.
Like I'm not an internet guy like that. That's what I'm trying to tell the people. Yeah, I do make videos, but you know, I'm not like an internet guy, like just on the internet all day. That's not what I'm doing. So, yeah. And I am gonna be doing some vlogging now, people. I'm gonna go down to the British Museum because there's a few things down there. There's a few statues down there that, you know, we must have thought they were Caucasian before, but they wasn't actually. So I want to go down there and take a few photos and stuff. I don't know if you'd like to take a video in there, but I'm going to do it anyway with my spy camera. So,
yeah, I'd like to see that. I'm going to try to get out there.
There's a lot of things down there that that people talk about, and there's a lot of important things in the British Museum, you know.
Yup. A lot of stuff. That and the Vatican, they got secrets for days.
A whole heap of things down there.
But I would love to get over there. Definitely to London. I do want to go see like where the great grandfather.
The hell you want to come to London for? The only thing, that would be the only good thing, to go and see a family or come and say hello to me. But apart from that, there ain't nothing going on in London, man.
It doesn't look like it, but really, it's just really, for me, it's more of
it's a new land for you. It's a new land.
Yeah. And more of a family journey kind of thing, like genealogy. It's not even like play. Like, of course, I come through and see you, but it's like I have a mission going over there. It's not because I'm going over there on vacation.
No, but you have to make sure you come here in the summertime. I'm telling you.
Is it better in the summertime?
Yeah, if I was you, I'd come here in the spring, summer, if anything.
Like, well, my birthday's in the summer, so that might work.
Or the end of summer, like maybe, because when it gets cold, it's cold, man.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm like, I want to be cold. Y'all had that crazy snow out there, and
it looks better. It just looks better in the summer.
Yeah, it looks really pretty.
Great. In the winter, it don't look too great. No, seriously, you don't look great. But in the summertime, it's nice.
Yeah, because it's always like cold. Like I always think of like Charles Dickinson. I'm like stuck in the 1800s. So I probably was there in another lifetime.
Yeah,
I definitely believe. Huh?
What you said? Charles Dickinson.
Yeah.
Ain't he a book author?
Yeah, Christmas Carol in London. Don't laugh at me. I love that story, and that's where I think that time, that was like one of my first books that my grandmother got me, and I read it, and that's what made me like fall in love with like London. And that's not a nice book. Like that's like a ghost story, and I'm like, oh, I love London.
Yeah.
The biscuits and tea.
One of my favorite books as a kid was Not Now Bernard.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Not Now Bernard, man. Yeah. Don't
Who's
know anyone
that
in the comments. No, Not Now Bernard. That's old school. Wow. That's a classic book right there.
Is that older than Charles Dickinson?
But no, hell no. Not with that. Right. Listen, Charles Dickinson, he sounds like he's 150 years old, man, with that name. Charles Dickinson. Like
he is. It was like 18 something.
Sound like a clone or something, man.
I mean, I probably would like to go see what, the downtown is. But like I said, my mission to go over there solely to, do genealogy. It's not even like a holiday, but I can make it a holiday. That's not my agenda. But it's very similar to like New York, because you got to think, like I said, that's like we're cousins, because the 13 colonies were made up of the British under George's ruling. So all the Brits came over here to try to make their own little rules and regulations and not be under the crown. So a lot of the buildings that were made, especially like in Manhattan, they're very similar to the buildings of London.
Yeah.
All they did was just replicate it and move. They even had the same architectures from London come over to Manhattan and do the same shit. So it looks very
Jersey. Do you go to Jersey, Foxy?
I don't, but I lived there. There's nothing there to.
But the Queen owns it though.
Yeah, that's part of the 13 colonies. That's why.
Yeah.
and where Maybach is from, Boston. Boston is another replication of London. It looks the way those homes are set up just like that. Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, that's all the 13 colonies, and they're all under the British crown. So but you got to think, remember, before Columbus there were people here. So this whole thing, if you read books prior to 1700, you'll know that there were melanated people living in America. And it's like, I don't want to take and be disrespectful to the African people that were brought over on ships. And coincidentally, how come is it that they can show us pictures in real time of Ellis Island, the immigrants coming from Ellis Island, but they still can't show us photos rather, of slaves being brought over? And slavery ended like in the Americas, like 18 something, 45 or something like that. They got photos of immigrants coming over from Germany, Italy, going into the New York harbor. So you mean to tell me there's not one photo of a slave ship? You got paintings. That's all you got for us. It's paintings. I'm not really buying the whole slave game thing, but hey, I'm not going to say that it didn't happen. I'm just saying the way it happened is not the way it happened. And people in America need to, they're so caught up in the whole, the ADOS and FBA and we're fundamental Black people first. You got to stop using Black, because the United States doesn't recognize Black in their law. That's why this young man was killed. They have him as a Black male. He's not a sovereign of the state, because we keep identifying ourselves as Black, and they know that doesn't mean anything. If anything, that means you are civilly dead in the eyes of the United States. So we need to be careful on how we, associate ourselves. Because as long as you keep saying reparations and Black in the same category, it's not going to happen. They don't recognize you as anything. You're dead. You're cattle. You're chattel. Do you know what I mean? Like, they really, that's why I'm like, listen, I'm all for whoever's land was taken from them. I'm all for that. But use it wisely. Like, there was a family out in California that just got back beachfront land that the government took back in the 1800s, sometime in the 1800s. What did they do? They resold it for less than what it was worth. Just recently. It's called the Bruce Beach. It's all what you call Black, what they call Black family. The government took it over, and this family just recently won that land back, and they resold it to the government for less than what it's worth. Like $20 million, something like that. So what are we doing here? What are we? You talking about reparations, and what you did just sold it right back. Now, granted, they might not be able to get maybe revenue. Maybe they saw that it'd be just too much of a pain to take care of it and cultivate it and things like that. It's easier to just sell it off. But this was your family's lineage. That's what made you royalty. And you just went and sold it right back? What? So it's madness. It's madness.
Where?
So it's gone. It's back into the government now. Then they can break that land apart and do whatever they want to do. It's beachfront at that. So those houses can cost millions of dollars.
Yep. It's the plan from the start, isn't it?
That was, yeah. But we have to re-educate ourselves, because a lot of us are not. We've been taught what they taught us. and taught us about ourselves. And then you argue with your brother and sister because some clear person told you who you are. That just makes me like bump my head. Like, this is real this is some Sigmund Freud psychology. Like we're mad right now. That we're sick, we're ill. Because you're listening to an outsider tell you who you are. Then you fight your brother and sister on who you are because you've listened to an outsider tell you who you are. Do you see how fucked up and that sounds? Excuse my language. Do you see how crazy that sounds? That's why I'm like, no, I'm going to go to London. I'm going to England to do genealogy and find out what's what and keep it moving. People need to do that. You can't just, if your grandma said your grandmother told you got Indian in you, believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Jamaica is that Tainos and Arawaks. Like, they're the indigenous people there. They're the Indians. Why is America, United States now incorporated with Mexico and Canada? Because Mexico always had land in America. It was just an imaginary line that the United States boarded up. Yeah. You see how crazy that is?
Yeah. That's what it is.
Bananas. And everybody out here is going like, oh my goodness, we just got sold off to Mexico. Mexico's always been here.
Trump knew about it.
Right. That's why he was like, no, close the borders. But if you look at the maps of the United States pre-1800s, it was Mexican territory. Texas, Arizona, the Dakotas, that was all Mexico land. Mm-hmm. Half of the United States, that's what I'm saying. When the Brits came over here, they divided all that. The French, they all put they put their little chips in on what section they wanted. Louisiana was with the French, New Orleans. But most of that area was still under the Mexican territory. Them Indians was fighting. They was like, listen, you're not coming over here. But some of them sold out and was like, listen, we can't beat them, join them. So you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad over there in Africa. No, some of your ancestors right here and sold you out. What are you gonna do then? How about that?
How about it?
Grandpa Red Chief sold you out because he couldn't hold down he couldn't keep up with the infantry anymore. He's like, damn it, all right, here, have this piece of land. Let's barter here. Let's make some negotiations.
They're smoking some peace pipes together. Around the fire, singing, I'm high.
With the peyote.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? I'm high. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to peel back the layers, you can't cherry pick anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah. That's real too.
You're going to have to get the raw truth of it. That Band-Aid's got to come off. And you're not going to like all of the truth that you're going to hear. Because it's going to hurt, because you're going to be like,
some people are scared to open Pandora's box, man.
I
don't know what they're scared of. You've already been through enough out here already. There's nothing really more to be scared of. You've seen people die. What is there to be scared of? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a choice. It doesn't mean that you have to change your whole lifestyle automatically. You know what I mean? You can do little bits of research bit by bit.
Right.
And to be honest, if you do start doing research bit by bit and you don't start changing, then there must be something really wrong with your brain. Because your common sense should tell you that, okay, I've learned this, I should really take some of this stuff into action. Unless you've actually lost your mind. Sometimes when I meet people that don't really care about, where they're going in life, not as in making money, but, what we're doing here, some people really don't give a shit.
Right.
It's actually kind of crazy to see, Hey, big up Poetry Emotion and Donnie, man. I'm on this screen here, I can't always see the comments.
Adonai had asked about what the Tate characters.
Yeah, so we went through about the Tate brothers. What's my what do I think of them? Yeah, so I actually like the message that they put across. It just seems a bit sketchy because one side of what he does to make money, which is using cool girls and whatnot, right? So that's going to make him look a bit sketchy. But apart from that, the message that I'm talking about, the message that he sends out. Now, he does do some weird stuff. He puts his hands in certain funny Freemason ways. He calls himself a top G, which is, we all know, it's a capital G that is inside the Mason sign. But so far, he's been arrested. Him and his brother, they're saying they're innocent. There's footage of them actually. Some people are still saying it's fake, but there's actually footage of them being taken from court and whatnot. And you can see Andrew's hair's grown back, you know what I mean? So it seems to be kind of real. So if big up Poetry Motion. So if it was a thing of like, it was staged, I don't really sure because we can't really tell. But the thing is, if he does get out with the situation that he's in, he's gonna get more followers. So he was actually telling people himself that they're going to be coming for him to try and lock him up over accusations of he's trafficking. But they're saying there's no proof, so they're going to be held for a few months. But at the same time, I like some of the messages that he's putting out. You really never know who someone is until you really see who they are at the end of the day. So only time will tell on it. But so far, with me, he's got a clean slate. But he has been doing some funny, weird masonry hand signs. And I ain't helping him right now, though. So we'll see what happens. But also, I do feel that these things that's happening, even with the police we spoke about earlier, and the Andrew Tate situation, these situations, and then the Kanye situation, to me, like, it just seems like a distraction, like all these situations. Because people didn't hear about Persia yesterday getting bombed in 5 different places.
Wow.
Airstriked in 5 different places. I didn't see that come up in the news.
I never. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Right. And it a funny coincidence that YouTube, they ban certain talks about war and everything there. Like they don't really want you mentioning certain names and stuff like that, but yet still they have to put it out on their news clips, but they're kind of like, for those that have got YouTube channels, like they're kind of like not letting you put out certain things on it no more. And you got to change the names. You got to use the names like the Bear and stuff like that. So
right.
So there's a crunch down. There's obviously a reason why they want to hide that. They want less people to see it, and then you got all these big things coming out, taking people's minds off of it. Sometimes it feels like they're all working together. Sometimes,
right? Yeah. At the same time, while this is going on with this young man that was killed in Memphis, there's the what we call football going on for the championship for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. Yeah,
and people are there was footage of Philadelphia raving, jumping up and down in the streets. Yay, our team won.
Well, that's a ritual in itself. They actually do the Super Bowls and stuff like that on certain nights. Yeah, that's all done in conjunction with their Luciferian practices.
Right.
So
but I
that would
find
be
it
on that
mind
sort of day.
blowing.
And what you saying? Was it the same day?
Yeah, no,
This
was a couple of days, just like 2 days ago, a day ago was the Eagles one and some San Francisco one.
Yeah.
To go to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. But what I'm saying is there's people outside chanting for their team while this young man just died. You know, the beginning of this week.
Yeah.
The madness that people have, like, I'm not saying we got to sit here and be mournful and things like that, but the distractions are at an all-time high.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I actually labeled it as Andrew Tate, but I didn't get to label it properly. And it won't let me re-edit it until I come off the show. But I'm going to re-edit the title.
It did. I see Spiritual Times.
Huh?
I see you changed it to Spiritual Times.
Did it change, yeah?
Yeah, it did.
Oh. I didn't even notice it actually changed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's saved. Okay, cool. Yeah, so... Yeah, man, we got to be careful of them distractions, people. You know, when you see these things come out like Kanye and all these things, make sure you go digging to see what else is going on behind the scenes for real.
Right.
Because they use these celebrities for this. And why do they use the celebrities? Because they know that you lot worship them. Not you lot, but like the masses, they worship the celebrities like idols. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be easy for them to use them. And then you got the vloggers that's going to do 100,000 videos on them and fill up their head even more. Why the real stuff is going on. Why Persia's getting hit by rockets. You know what I'm saying?
And then did you see Doja Cat? Yes, it was.
Cat dressed up like a demon. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Yeah, Doja Cat's gone nuts. Yeah, so that should just speak for yourself.
Disgusting. Yes.
People them got to start asking themselves questions like, why is it when I keep going to these looking at these shows on TV or looking at these red carpet, these people are wearing these funny outfits.
She took the cake. Her and I think 1 year Lady Gaga had wore like actual meat, like a dress of just beef and stuff. I'm like, what? I don't watch that stuff no more. But of course, vloggers or content creators are posting, this Doja Cat wearing this she looks like a demon. Like she looked like she just came out of Hell's Gate.
Yeah, Latoya done a video on it still. Yeah, she done a video on it, man. I knew Latoya would jump straight on that one when she saw it.
Yeah, because that was just like, red alert. Red alert. So yeah, there's a lot of distractions, and that's why we were talking about crystals and spiritual protection, because it's not only just what you consume by food, but it's also what you're watching by your eyes and listening to. So YouTube has great meditation channels that you can listen to, get your frequency up, get your heart chakra lined up, because this is the battle for your soul and your psyche is up, and you can't just fall for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. Like, you got to really investigate, why are they putting this out here? What is the end game? What's really good? And then you'll know how to move around out here. And
it's a real battle for your soul, like for real. You see what it is with the fallen, they can't descend. They can't go back up to heaven, innit? They can't go back through the realms. They're stuck here, so they want you to be stuck down here with them. You understand? Right. That's bottom line what it is. But yeah, that was a good conversation today. That was, what it is. I wanted to do a nice one back. This is a relaxed one, and just to get me back on it, and it's worked.
Yeah, you ran right through. It's 3 hours and. It's cool.
But you lot run through it. Like, you lot were doing your thing today. You and Latoya were going back to back, and But yeah, we're gonna definitely do another one. I might even do one tomorrow. No, I'm gonna go gym tomorrow still, but no, I might do it when I get back from the gym. Yeah, I might do when I get back from the gym. And maybe we just do 2 hours, or maybe just do 2 hours, and depending on how much people are on. Big up to Matt. Was it Maybach?
Yes, Maybach Mel. Salute to him.
Maybach Mel. Salute for coming through. Thanks for the knowledge. Salute to Foxy, of course. Salute to Latoya. Everyone in the comments. Yeah, look out for us, because I'm going to be definitely doing a couple shows by before the end of the week. If I don't do one tomorrow, it'll be the day after. But if I do decide I want to do one tomorrow, I will put up the notification, the flyer notification early. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about current events and certain things that's happening. Yeah, because I want to do a show on Nubaru separately as well. So let's dive into that one. And yeah. But that shows is never just one subject anyway. But that just shows that just shows the capacity of the mind people. Some people will be like, oh, it's good to stay on one subject. Why would you limit your brain? Why would you limit yourself? You know what I mean?
Right.
If your brain can take it, why would you limit yourself? That means that we're making you not limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we talk about one thing and there's so much things to talk about, then we're actually limiting you,
Right.
And you can always go back into the video and rewind it if you missed it. So it's like, why not throw as much knowledge out as possible? That's the whole point of this. Time's running out, man. Time's running short anyway. So, yeah.
That's why you got to put in as much as you can. And, even though your intention wasn't to come out today to be so long, it was just to kind of get your feet wet. But what happens is when you get with like-minded people and there's so much to talk about, you can't just talk about what's the topic at hand, because there's so much going on. And you gotta speak your piece, and you did. We all were able to say some things, and we still stayed on track. It's just that there are other things that are evolving that need to be addressed. Some things we can't talk about on live TV, but there are things that need to be looked at closely. And why are they happening so rapidly? So big up to you, Brother Peniro. Thank you for having me on again. Salute to your chat. Please make sure to like and share this live and hit the notification bell, because sometimes somewhere in this YouTube streets, the notifications, they're like janky. So make sure you guys are in tune with Brother Peniro when he comes back on. But all you can do is definitely hit that like button on your way.
Most def. All right then. Well, Foxy, you take it easy. We'll definitely talk in a few hours.
You too. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you very much.
Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and